And what good is a breakfast if you leave out the eggs? Today we're talking about Egghead Island, guys. Just running down it, getting a quick retrospective, talking about all like the small details that we kind of don't talk about anymore, right? We'll go from the beginning of the arc to the end of the arc, and we're just here to have a fun little chat. So all in all, though, Egghead Island, how do you feel about it? Like now that we've left, like if you had to give a rating, if I held your family at gunpoint and executed them one by one, if you didn't answer, what answer would you give me? What number?
Oh man. 9. I'd say 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't like fall out of love with Egghead near the end. It stayed pretty consistent for you.
No, I loved because for what it was always about Kuma and Bonnie, and so I try to like myself in that always. And a bunch of stuff did happen. There were some things that there were definitely some like character things that happened, like with like for instance, Zoro comes to mind. I don't know why he was fighting Lucci for like 12 chapters. To this day, I have no idea why that happened. But I think if I make sure that my mind remembers, hey, this is about Kuma and Bonnie. Don't just think about it from that lens. It was damn near perfect. I think the only thing that I would have wanted is as far as Kuma and Bonnie, I think I would have wanted more of which I mean, we're not done. We're gonna get that later on, but I would have wanted like a definitive like closure for Kuma. We still don't really know what's going on with him. So yeah. I think that what would have made it perfect is if we would have gotten to know like what's going on there.
So for Kuma though, dead or alive, what do you see? Do you think he'll come back to life later, or do you think he's like gone for good?
I think that would be a mistake. I think with Oda, we never know. He brought Pale back after he exploded like Emperor Palpatine, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I think it would be a mistake to just kind of bring him back on some Mickey stuff because like everything that we saw, dude, it hit so good. You know, like it was perfect. I think it would be a really bad decision for just like, well, actually, we found a way to bring him back. I would want that, but like, it's still not. I don't think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, it would be a little bit silly. So I guess that begs the question now, though, of like, what do we do with his body? Like, Bonnie's like hugging it. She's going to sleep with him like he's a teddy bear. And the guys over here just conscious, unconscious. I feel like we should just put him out of his misery. Like, do you say we give him like a Viking funeral like the Mary, or do we just like push him off the boat?
Really, yeah, dude. I mentioned I thought of that. Like, I can't remember when I did or who I was talking to, but I thought of that, dude. Like, imagine a Going Merry style funeral with Kuma. Like, oh my god.
I don't think Bonnie would let you, dude. I don't think Bonnie would want her dad to go like that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess we can't literally set him on fire, but just something like that.
Yeah. Like, imagine his Buccaneer DNA just has him like live through the fire too. So he's just melted. He's just like all metal. His eyeballs like falling out. Yeah, that'd be so cursed.
He's just like, oh.
Yeah. Bonnie, don't look.
Yeah.
don't look. Your dad. He's surviving the fire. He looks like a monster.
Oh my god. I know they would never make that joke, but that would be so funny if the joke is like Luffy's like, well, we did this with Barry, so I got to do this with you, Kuma. You were a good dude, and he sets him on fire, and Kuma's like, ouch.
Yeah, like ouch. And then we get like the inner monologue because he's like still kind of there, and he's like, ah, just screaming at the top of his lungs. Somebody stop! Not the fire.
Oh that'd be good. I guess they could push him into the ocean, but even that is like, I don't know that that's actually gonna, like, he's a robot, dude. Like, I don't know. They need a definitive.
It's a strong robot.
Exactly.
Maybe like how you send cars to the recycling bin. Maybe the Giants do that. Like they just like compression press him.
On
Elbaf,
God.
You know?
Oh no.
Yeah. Turn him into like a tin can. Get some use out of him.
That would be. All of that would be so. That would be funny, but so sad.
I mean, like that's the thing, though. Like, we got to do something with his dead body. Like, you know, Vegapunk, we can bury him. You know, we could bury him. Pedro, Yasui, like we buried all of our dead people. Like, do we just bury Kuma? Because he's like you said, he's there. Like his circuitry is kind of working, in a way.
He's like, that body is strong too, is what I was thinking. Like, there's not really a lot that like we need a definitive like, okay, this is for sure. the end of his story, the end of like this is going to be it. Like Kuma's come back from so much and awesomely, but like yeah, dude, like I don't know, I don't have any ideas. I think your trash compactor idea is a good way to be sure, but God, that's so cruel. Good God.
Yeah. I guess the only like real option, the humane option would be to have Lilith to do something with his body, like take him apart piece by piece, maybe turn him into something else, even like maybe like a beer cooler. Right? Or like a weapon. Oh yeah, we could turn Kuma into like a weapon for Bonnie. Maybe that could work.
A beer cooler is so like good God. First of all, there's like 1,000 pacifista around already as it is. So like there's not gonna be the last time that we see Kuma as it is. So like having him as a cooler on the Sunny, so funny. Jesus. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just incorporate him. So, getting back to Egghead, though, we started off with a winter storm. When we came over here, we didn't know what island we were going to. We just knew that it was a winter island. The Straw Hats ran into Bonnie, who was kind of like in this weird warm eddy. Like, it still wasn't explained, like, how she got in there. It was just like, hey, her ship capsized. By the way, she's in a water bubble. Zoro cut it.
We don't.
And then Luffy and the crew just split up. And that's when we met Lilith, the first quote Vegapunk. When you saw that, like your first time around, did you think that was actually Vegapunk, or did you know like some chicanery was afoot?
I would think that I think I knew something was going on because like I think did we know that Vegapunk was like an old man, or did we just imagine that he was? In my head, I definitely thought like, no, Vegapunk's an old man. I don't know if I had reason to think that.
We knew that he was an old man because Caesar referred to him as an old man. And plus we had like a little silhouette of like some guy doing this to Kuma's head, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, which definitely not Lilith. Yeah. So I think I was always like, okay, someone's lying for sure. But like it's just Oda, dude, like, and even with this last chapter, dude, like he is addicted to silhouettes and mysteries.
That's what I said, man. He's like a crack fiend. I said that like every day he wakes up, he like scratches his neck a little bit because he just got to draw a silhouette. He's just ready for it.
I got to get it out, man. They're not gonna know who this is. Even if it's someone we already know. Like, what if that silhouette is just like Shanks or something? Like, why did you hide that? We don't need to. Like, it's okay.
That's why I'm not a fan of the Saul option. People are like, oh, it's going to be Saul. It's like, guys, like, I know he's been silhouetting Saul for some reason, even though we know it's Saul, but like, come on, this would be ridiculous.
That is weird, though. Like, when he was remembering that, and because we went back to Saul like a couple times and we never saw his face. I mean, I would imagine that's for a reason, but like, I agree, dude. I was like, come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Like, we went back to O'Hara during the Vegapunk flashback. Saul was silhouetted. We go to Elbaf, Saul is silhouetted. And then during the message, Saul is silhouetted. It's like, brother, we know who this is. Like, the most it's going to do is like, oh, spoil the surprise that he has like a messed up face or something. Maybe he has a scar. But like, come on, like, let's be real. Like, we know who this is still at the end of the day. Like, unless the scar is like crazy stylized and is like very unique, I think we're silhouetting him for nothing.
We 100% are. I don't think that there's even, unless it's, because even if it's like if let's say he's the man marked by flames, like I think that like, and it's because of a scar that's like on his face for some reason. There's really no reason, like, because we got 100 people that could be already, like, he could just, like, he's doing it on purpose. Like, I think you're right. He's addicted to it. He wakes up every morning like, I got to get that silhouette in.
Yeah,
oh my God.
That silhouette is so unpurposeful. It's kind of like, it's like Oda has a nicotine addiction, right? That's the silhouette. And then Saul's like the vapes coming in. It's like the low to no nicotine vapes. That's what Oda's doing right here. God.
He really can't help himself, bro.
Yeah. No, he can't. It's a nasty habit. So after we meet Lilith, the Straw Hats Zoro segment, they go up to the Labo phase. Luffy starts exploring the Fabrio phase. That's when we run into Atlas, the food machine, and all that other stuff. And do you remember the discourse around Atlas when we first got here? About how she introduced light touching gloves, and people automatically assumed that Kizaru was going to make an appearance on the island. Were you a fan of that idea?
Yeah, I definitely was because I thought that it meant that someone who basically didn't have hockey was going to fight him though. Like I didn't think that Luffy was going to put on the gloves because he's already got like the best hockey that there is. I thought that it
Yeah.
meant like maybe Frankie or somebody would put on the gloves, but I was a huge fan of that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, it was kind of foreshadowing Kizaru's appearance, which is kind of cool now they think about it. Because back at that time, we had no knowledge that Kizaru was on his way, but people saw that they're like, "Yo, Kizaru's coming! It's done! It's set in stone."
Dude, and in a really cool
good.
way too, because why would he have even what would he even have that on the island if not because Kizaru was already there and there's like, there's
Yeah,
different experiments that he was doing. So yeah, that was a really cool foreshadowing.
yeah, but like it's like you said though, like the gloves are a nice idea, but anyone who could realistically box or fight Kizaru hand to hand, like they already have good hockey. Like they don't need the gloves. Like there's no point if Luffy
Yeah.
puts them on.
Yeah, like literally not. He would probably still would just because it's funny, but like he wouldn't. There would be no need for him to actually do it, to be
Yeah.
honest. So yeah, I thought. Well, that's why I thought like a lot of people thought that Frankie was going to get something in Egghead Island. Like I would think that those gloves would have been one of the perfect things for him to get if they encounter more light based shenanigans.
Oh yeah, light base or just any. Imagine he has like a glove that can touch any Logia. That'd be beautiful. That would go hard,
That'd
huh?
be, that would be so tight.
I remember back on Fishman Island when we first met Caribou, like the swamp ass Logia user. Frankie was the first guy who locked him up in a barrel, and I was like, yo, like maybe this is a sign. Because I'm like, yo,
Dude.
like Frankie doesn't have hockey, but he still like put Caribou in a barrel. It's like, how did that work? Like I thought about it. I was like, wait, can Caribou not fight Frankie for some reason? Like, what's going on there? Like technically, the people who were on the ship didn't have hockey, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. Actually, I never thought about that. God, I'm so glad. What do you think about Caribou? Like being a part of basically all but confirmed to be a part of Blackbeard's crew now.
I love that guy. I always like Caribou.
Yeah.
Him, yeah, no, dude, I'm not even joking. When we saw him at Saboti, I remember like reading that chapter for the first time, like when it came out, and I unironically liked all of the losers we saw there. Not just Caribou. I liked his brother Coribou. Gashed Albion, Damaro Black, Lip Service Dowdy. Like I loved all of those loser pirates who we never saw again. So I'm really glad at least one of them stuck. And the thing with Caribou is that I never liked his power because I think mud is kind of nasty. That's a
Yeah,
oh god. When you walk outside,
it's
mud's like the
gross.
last thing you want to see. Like imagine, you're going out for dinner, right? And then you step in some mud, like that'll ruin your day. So I had like, mud for
Bro.
me has a bad connotation.
And it's endless mud. Like it's a pocket dimension of
Yeah.
mud. Like people survive in there, so somehow they can breathe inside of mud. It's gross. It's so gross.
Yeah, I want to see Caribou versus Steve Irwin, put him against some like nature nature guys. Yeah, I want to see how they deal with him. But yeah, like I really like Caribou. I'm excited to see what he has to offer past knowledge. Like once he tells Blackbeard about the ancient weapons and like the rogue poneglyphs, like what is there left for him? Are we just gonna see him chilling in Hachinosu with a bunch of babes on his side, or is he gonna be like Blackbeard's protege? Like what's his end goal?
Ooh, man, dude. To be honest, to be honest, I every time I see that swamp person, I just kind of get an icky feeling. Him and not as much as this person, but Treble for me is the worst. Every time I saw
Treble's
Treble,
the
like
worst.
oh my god, it was awful. But I just like like you, I just don't like mud and stuff. But like honestly, Caribou's role in the story. He's definitely gonna be like he's already an issue and a problem that no one took seriously, and now that he's with the most evil pirate ever, like they're gonna take full. And he idealizes Blackbeard. Like that's a problem. Like that's actually like he's like Bartholomew with like Luffy and stuff. Like he's gonna do like we're gonna have some big moments with Caribou basically. Like I know that in my bones. But I don't know. He's a swamp, dude. I don't know what you want me to like. It's hard for me to like get excited about seeing
Yeah.
those fights. Like good God, who's gonna fight him? Like that's what I want to know.
I mean, you gotta remember, like, the Big Mom Pirates took him out with ease. A singular punch by Peckham's took him out at Fishman Island. Like, I doubt he's gotten any stronger. He hasn't fought anybody. He hasn't trained up. So if we were to fight him in the future, even though he has like a Logia and 200 million berries to his name, like he's just gonna get packed up in a single hit. Like unless he fights like Usopp or somebody who doesn't have haki, sure, but like, you know, like even then, like he shouldn't be that difficult to deal with.
I don't know who he would fight. Where maybe Nami or something. I truly don't know, dude. But yeah, I know he's gonna be an issue. I think so. Who's like? Because Caribou's like one of the One Piece characters where I'm kind of like, I don't know. I like every time I see him, I'm just like, who's a One Piece character that you hate? Like maybe even unreasonably. Like who is that to you?
Unreasonably hate Usopp.
Why?
I don't like Usopp. I liked him pre-time skip. I liked his jokes. I thought he was fun, and I liked when he had those moments where he was like this brave warrior of the sea. You know, Eni's lobby, I was very mixed on that because I didn't like how unreasonable he was with the going merry. Because in my opinion, you know, at the time I was just like, hey, let's just kill the ship. Like, let's just get a new one, guys. But Usopp made it a really big deal. I understand why, but I don't agree with it. But I did like his scene with Luffy and Lucci where he's like, hey, skin that cat alive. And I was like, yo, like, this is great. You know, Usopp has these, like, small moments in almost every arc where he looks fantastic. But in between those moments, he hits, like, the lowest of lows. He's running away. He's lying again. And I feel like that's purposeful because, like, if he were to consistently be good, then that's his dream, you know, being a brave warrior. So I understand that that's who he is and that's how he's meant to be. But I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like cowards in general in anime. I don't like people who run from fights. So it's like my own personal like thing with him. But even though I dislike him, I've made like, I think 3 or 4 videos about how he's going to be amazing on Elbaf and how I believe in him. Because I think there's a part of me that wants to like Usopp again. But I do have a lot of unreasonable hate for him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of like, just an unreasonable. Well, I guess unreasonable probably is. What about like, so then reasonable hate then? Is there a character you're like, no, there's very good reason to hate this character? And who might that
reasonable
be?
Hate? You're gonna have to get back to me on that one. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I just like really, you know, dislike.
Yeah, for me, it was just Caribou. Absalom for a while. I hated
Absalom.
Him
why?
What do you mean, why?
Absalom's cool as hell, like gorilla muscles, man, lion skin.
No, I was really only for what he did to Dombey in that bath scene. That made me just feel uncomfortable.
Whoa, you don't know if it was Absalom. I mean, did you see him?
Oh my God!
Did you see him? Did you see my client?
You co-sign being the lawyer. What is your Absalom's lawyer now? Just like, what was it,
Your Honor, he wasn't there. He wasn't caught on camera. You didn't see him. I didn't see him.
Okay, fair, I guess. Okay.
That's fair. So you weren't too sad when Absalom died, huh?
No.
Damn.
Not at all,
well, wait. Are you a Gecko Moria fan? Like, do you believe in the boy?
Is that what his nickname? His nickname is the boy in the manga?
Yeah.
Was he Drake?
The legend.
Are you serious?
Dude, people love Gecko Moria, man.
Oh man,
yeah, there's like a whole Gecko Moria fan club out there.
I mean, I guess that's not surprising. I don't hate Gecko Moria, but he just has a lot of like all of his friends. Like it's kind of like all of his friends have weird cases. That's all I'm gonna say. Like and that's kind of like there's the what is that Hodgeback or Hogback, whatever his name is. Weird guy, weird case. Brought somebody back from the dead just so they could be a married slave. And she hated him so much. She was a zombie and she got out of that. That's insane. Like,
yeah,
that's
her
just
willpower just like overcame everything.
As a zombie, bro. That's insane. The weird guy, weird case. Absalom, weird guy, weird case. I don't know what they be doing on that freaky ass
Perona's the one
island.
W that he has.
True. Yeah, but then even then, it's like she need to get from around them people. Is what I was. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too many weird people. Good God.
Hey, well, to be fair, I mean, all we have left is Gecko Moria and Perona. So if they make a comeback, it's just gonna be the goats.
Yeah, I'll take that. I will gladly take that. Yeah. Honestly.
So on with Egghead Island, though. After we meet Atlas and all of that, we see that CP0, Rob Lucci, Kaku, Stussy, and the Kuma Seraphim are on their way to Egghead to kill Vegapunk. It was insane. I'm a big fan of Rob Lucci and Kaku, man. I swear to God. I don't play Bounty Rush, but I hopped on Bounty Rush for a minute just to get Rob Lucci and Kaku in my squad. Like that's how big of a fan I am of these guys. So I was living life. How about you?
They are cool. My thing with Lucci is he pulled up and he immediately was like, I don't respect Straw Hat as an emperor. And I was like, why? Why would you like Luffy's already beat you once? Why would you like he was just too cocky and then he got his shit rocked. And then like later on, it's just like I respect Lucci as a villain. I don't like well actually I guess that's probably it's the other way around. I respect him as a character. I do think he's a really cool character, but
Yeah.
like as a villain it's just so hard for me to be like, oh, this ain't any lobby anymore, bro. Like you lost to us before we had hockey. Like that was like that alone should be like, don't like he's got gear 5 now. You should have just like at least played that a little bit smarter. The whole reason they got captured is because Lucy crashed out and he was like, I can do it. Yeah, like, oh,
Here's
no,
the
man.
thing though, like you gotta respect that from a villain though. Like to have a villain that is as unwavering as Lucci, as stubborn, hard-headed as Lucci, like that's rare to come by, right? Because most villains would see Luffy and they're like, oh my god, like this guy beat my ass in his lobby, right? But Lucci, no, he stood his ground. He trained up, he got an awakening, he got haki, and he wanted to fight Luffy again. And the thing with Eni's lobby is that yes, he got his ass whooped, but it was by a hair. Like Luffy, after he hit that last attack on him, Luffy couldn't move. So in Rob Lucci's eyes, like it wasn't like he got stomped. It was more like, oh, like if I just lasted past that one hit, he would have won. So
Yeah,
like
that's a good
I
point.
understand that like he wants to like run that back, but it's kind of funny. Like after he says I don't respect him as an emperor, and after he loses, he comes back and he's like, you know what? Instead of Luffy, I'm gonna fight Zoro. Like don't worry, Kizaru's coming. It's all good. It's all good. He'll deal with
And
Luffy.
it was after Luffy checked him, like, you're not going to try to fight anybody else because you know you can't beat me, right? And he's like, yeah, I won't. And then immediately he crashed out and he was like, I guess I'll fight Zoro. Like, are we tossing him down the line now? Like, that's crazy.
I guess so, man. I guess his next opponent's gonna be Sanji.
It's going to be Sanji.
It's gonna be Sanji, man.
It's going to be Sanji.
Ooh,
Like,
or
for real,
Usopp. I mean, Usopp did say that he'd skin him alive like the cat he is, so maybe it's Usopp. Which I would hate. No, don't put my favorite character against my least favorite. Please, Oda.
Because especially if they do something in Elbaf, like
God.
I would even say it might even be Mickey. Like, but Usopp probably is going to come out with that win. Like that.
Yeah, no, like I said, man, I'm expecting Usopp to get some crazy power ups, and I'm all for it. But please don't let it be at the cost of Rob Lucci. Anything but that, Oda. I'll give you my life.
I can't give you that.
Yeah, wait,
okay.
Who's top 3 favorite characters? Who do you got? Like, who's under your belt? Or in your belt if it's like,
Yeah, for me, top 3 automatically. I got to keep Luffy at number 1. He's like, as for like main characters go, like he drives the series like nothing else. I always reference this, but like think about Marineford and even Impel Down to Bounty, like all of that. Like we were away from the supporting cast that we got for like 100 or so episodes and chapters and stuff, and he carried like we got, and that's to this day people consider that to still be like maybe the best arc in the series. He's an amazing character, and just funny. One of my personal favorites. I would say next is Sanji. Love him, his character, and he's just hilarious to me too. And then third, are
you really going all Straw Hats?
I'm trying to find one that isn't. It's just we've spent so much time with them. So top 3. I'll do. This is what I'll do. I'll do top 3 in the Straw Hats because that's easy. Luffy, Sanji, and then Robin. Okay.
Perfect.
Easy. Now just top 3 outside of the Straw Hats for sure. I don't think I'll do this in any order, but I really like Kobe. I really like Kobe as a character.
Oh, you're a rare breed, dude. People hate Kobe, dude.
Yeah.
I was
really,
yeah, man. Like the Kobe line where he's like, Luffy, I gotta stop your dreams. Dude, people were blasting Kobe. I was surprised.
I was too, to be honest. I was like, I don't know, but I hope that he means that because like I would imagine he knows some reason that he has to, like maybe Garp told him something or just something. Like I am hoping he's not saying I have to defeat you, Luffy. That's my hope, because honestly I was in that team like, Kobe, please God, if you like, I still remember Marineford when he tried to do something and Luffy didn't even, he was like, is that Kobe? And just kept fucking going, dude. There was no talking at all. He just like and kept going, but no, Kobe's character, I do really, really, really like him and the journey. Like if you think about it, he's been there since episode 1, bro.
Yeah,
like or even chapter. I don't know if it's chapter 1, but yeah, he's been there for a while, and so I really love.
And then the glope he had too, man. He went from like a little, he one of those, and now look at him.
Yeah. bro. Yeah, to got his heart, bro. Like he's like that's crazy. He's still kind. He's even got a shorty with him. You know what I'm saying? Just be following him around, still just focused on doing the right thing.
He even has
A
his own
tremendous
Zoro.
Yeah, he does. And that was
Yeah.
the person that was trying to kill him when we first met him. Like
Yeah.
he's like that's
Zoro and
that's
Helmepo, man,
crazy.
they're like destined rivals in a way.
It's crazy, but yeah, I'm not honestly. You're right. Like not crazy, but yeah, I would agree. Like yeah, so man, I would before the other two. So that's Kobe, and then the other two. That's tough, honestly. I'd also really like Sabo, but I just kind of feel like the whole like amnesia thing really has me kind of like. I wished he would have been in like a coma until then or something. Like amnesia is just kind of like
Yeah, it's a little bit too much, huh? Because you have to like
it's a little
suspend
too
the imagination with that one. It's like, oh, like, so you're telling me Sabo just traveled around the world, just none the wiser about his backstory.
in the middle of like he's like he knows Luffy and Ace, and they're two of the most famous, the crash dummies of this universe. Like they could not everywhere they went, they were spreading like the news, like going crazy. Like he only learned about everything after Marineford, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of Mickey, but so I don't know. I don't know if I could
And
put
then
him in there,
wait,
but for sure.
like for Sabo too, like you're telling me they never went back to Goa Kingdom to like find out what his origins were? Like you know, not even like going back to his home, but just like going to Goa Kingdom and just talking to Dodon or like somebody like that?
Anything like
Like
I
2
would
seconds
like
is
literally
all it would have taken.
or did he have questions even like I could understand even if they didn't go back, but just like I've got amnesia, all right, well this is my life now. Like you didn't tell him anything, and that's another thing. Dragon knew where Luffy was. You didn't think to mention so you knew my son. Did no one like mention
Yeah.
that before he just like realized that? Like come on, man.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, yeah, Sabo's up there. Who's your third now?
I would pick Boa Hancock. I love her to death.
Oh yeah,
Like
Boa's great.
actually,
Boa's great.
my God.
I was
Oh
kind
my
of sad
God.
with the Blackbeard stuff though.
Well, when he snuck her.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping she'd put up more of a fight. But I mean,
Yeah.
Blackbeard's
Oh
just that
no.
busted.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Me too. But yeah, he snuck her. I mean, that was kind of that's. I don't know if like in a straight up fight how that would go. Blackbeard's just honestly, Blackbeard's a problem, bro. Like no
Yeah,
cap,
yeah.
Blackbeard is actually an issue for a lot of people. So I get it.
Like I don't mind that Blackbeard beat her. It's more like I wanted her to land like one good hit, you know, just right in the chin
Well,
or
that's
something.
the problem, bro. One high heeled kick from her would take Blackbeard, but he would go home after that. He'd be like, "I'm good. I don't want to get kicked like that ever again."
The
Like
devil fruit's not
that's
worth
for
it,
real
guys.
what would happen. Yeah, he for
Yeah.
real would. So that's why it had to happen that way. That's which is like a testament to her. But I agree. I want to see her get down for real with like a character that she could actually get down with, and we haven't seen that yet.
Well, with Boa Hancock, we can kind of spin this too. Like, where do you think she's going? Last we saw, they were talking about getting her off the island so that the Marines will stop attacking Amazon Lily. So do you think she's on her way somewhere important? Do you think she's going to meet the Straw Hats? Are you a fan of the Cross Guild theory? Like, where are you with Boa right now? Like, where is she going?
Ooh, I actually haven't. That's a great question. I haven't thought about this, but I think Cross Guild makes a lot of sense. I do think Cross Guild makes a lot of sense because I think she's more like the Chi-Chi to Luffy's Goku in a way. Like, if they do end up together, maybe that doesn't happen, but if they do end up together in any sense, it's literally like either right at the end of the story when all hell is broken loose and then Luffy accidentally marries her. I was just like, he wasn't even like, he thought that they were going to go get some food and he comes back married. But I think that's like, even then, that's like way at the end or at least at the final battle. So I don't see her like joining the Straw Hats yet. So I think Cross Guild is probably a really good answer. And other than that, what are the other like? Where else could she go? Do you have any other like? Where
Um,
else would she go other than Cross Guild or the Straw Hats?
no, I can't really think of anywhere else that would make sense. She could travel with Rayleigh. I know I've heard that option before. Maybe she travels with Rayleigh and then they end up on Elbaf or with Scopper because you know Scopper that's a hot talking point. So maybe they end up together. But yeah, like I do like the cross guild theory a lot. People don't like it because you know they're like, oh, why would she work for Buggy not Luffy? But like maybe that's her way to find Luffy, right? Maybe Buggy's like since he's in the race, she's like, oh, like I'll have a good chance of running into him if I just work with this loser for a little bit.
Yeah, I do think there should probably be like a reason that she says for why she doesn't just go to Luffy. Because the last panel that we saw of her, she was like thinking about going to join Luffy, and Luffy would like let her like join up, and then. But that's a problem because bro, like there's a lot of people on the Sunny right now. That's
Dude,
the first thing I was.
We
gonna
need to
say.
get rid of that ship, brother. It's so small.
Bro.
It's so small
for these people. Yeah,
My
dude.
God.
For so like. Luckily, we're on the giant ship too. But think about it. We got Bonnie, Kuma, Lilith is on board. We got all the Straw Hats and shit. Like, thank God it's just Lilith because it was about to be all of those Vegapunks on that ship, freeloading off.
When we were at Fishman Island and we got like a shot of all the Straw Hats standing on the Thousand Sunny at the same time, we barely fit.
Dude, we barely fit. If
crazy.
At all. Like it's insane. So adding Boa Hancock and whoever else is with her. But that's another thing. Where would Rayleigh go? Like the only place they could really go is chill on. So unless Rayleigh goes and meets up with Shanks, and then well,
Rayleigh's at Saboti right now.
Right.
Yeah, we last saw him drinking, and he was like passed out into a little coma. But
I remember that.
Yeah. Now I think about it, I don't think Boa Hancock would go with Rayleigh since he's at Saboti, since like the slave trade runs kind of heavy over there. I don't think Boa would want to be nearby that, actually.
That's a good point. She would crash out if she went there.
Yeah, dude. Those celestial would she attack a celestial dragon?
Do I think she would attack a celestial dragon? I think now that the world is in the state that it's in, who's gonna like? Do they have the resources to like develop? Who's gonna stop her?
They're not gonna send Kizaru over here, huh?
No. They might send Green Bull, and if they do, who cares? Like, who the fuck? Like, she would be like, all right, great. She'd kick him in the chest, and he's gonna run away as soon as he sees Boa. So
that's crazy.
It's not gonna matter.
One bad showing from Green Bull, and now he's the laughing stock of the Navy. I can't believe it.
Bro,
just one bad showing. That's all it takes.
I can't look at him any other way, dude. He sold me so hard at that agenda reverie. I couldn't think of literally anything other than like I would not be like if it was me and Green Bull and we pulled up anywhere, I wouldn't feel safe, bro. I would not feel safe at all. I wouldn't, bro. He would just run away, and I'm gonna be like, I guess I gotta fight Momonosuke now because you've running away from Momonosuke and Yamato. But oh my god.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Shanks is like that wasn't that bad, but it's more so like. He couldn't handle the scabbards yet, like, oh, damn. Like, he got hit by the bolo breath and he was like, whoa! And then he had to regrow. It's like, oh, damn. Like, I feel like on paper he's good, but just everything that happened to him, it just doesn't, it's not logistically great. If you put him in front of like a PR team, they'd probably charge you extra to like deal with him.
Exactly, dude. That's a perfect way to put it because on paper, that Logia Devil Fruit, that is a problem. But like, if you look back at when he pulled up to Wano, he took that the Boro breath from Momonosuke, and he took that hit like Blackbeard. He was like, "Ouch!" and shit like that. Like I don't see any other admiral even reacting to that. I just don't. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't. Wano's fodder. Like they basically was just trying to fight you, and the Straw Hats were just watching. Like we don't need to get involved. No one needed to get involved. They were just sitting on a hill. Like this guy's haki is so weak. I'm not. We don't need to get involved. We don't know who that is.
Yeah, like and then when you really think about it, like for Green Bull, I like how every conversation, man, it always comes back to Green Bull. But like, even if he does beat the Scabbards and Yamato and Momonosuke. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Kid, Law, the Samurai, like, what was his goal? Like, did he really think he could take everybody? Like, that's one man versus a country. And the worst part, the reason why it stings me is because I was rooting for him. I was like, hey, guys, I think it's over. Guys, I think Green Bull's gonna cook everybody. Not the case.
The way he was pulling up, I get it. The way he was pulling up, like he was slow motion walking, like he was really like that. I was like, oh man, who is this? I thought he was on our side because we saw like a silhouette of him talking to Fujitora, so I was like, all right, this guy's probably on our side. But the way he was talking and the way he just easily took out King, Queen, and everybody, now recontextualizing that based on how he just ran, pissed himself, and just took off as soon as Shanks sent him his haki, I was like, the only reason he beat them is because they were already beaten and in prison. So it's like, I don't know. Like, it's tough. And I think you're right. I think that he definitely should have higher stocks in the community. But I think he's not. The only thing he did to earn that was beat Weevil off screen. So I don't know. I can't really give him
And then
anything.
even then, like, did he beat Weevil because he was stronger, or did he beat Weevil because Weevil was trying to protect the villagers? So like, you also have to think about that with Sync's village.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really
So like, can we
good
really
point.
give him the Weevil victory if there's hostages and civilians around? Like, I don't even
That's a good
know.
point. That is a
And
really,
then you got
really,
the
really good.
Reverie with Green Bull, which is a part of the Egghead Island stuff, where he's supposed to protect the celestial dragons and fight the Revs, and he's over here being held off by Morley. It's like, okay, I don't know, man. Green Bull, that's. I hope he looks better later on. Maybe he's the main villain of Elbaf. Maybe he comes over here and starts messing with that tree. Yeah, how about that? Give Green Bull the Atom Tree. Level this guy up.
Ooh, no, dude, bro.
That's not bad, right? Green Bull
That's
mixing
not
with
a
the
bad.
tree? Oh my god.
That's not bad. Do you think then? Because I'm actually a really good. Because we need to see something from Green Bull. Because if he just stays in the background until the final war, he's not going to be like. Whenever he pulls up, no one's going to take him seriously. So I do think he needs to do something during Elbaf. Do you think that when he does that, it should be like a significant power up, or should he go and just show everybody how strong he always was if he pulls up to Elbaf?
Always was. I would love if he just shows us how strong he always was. And I still have hope that all of the admirals, all the Logias that we've seen thus far in the Marines, that they have awakenings. Like for Kizaru, for example, I feel like he might have an awakening, but obviously he's not like in the right mental space to do it. Killing Kizaru was already too bad for him, so I doubt he's going to use it now. But yeah, maybe all the admirals have an awakening. Maybe that's a requirement for them. And he's like, hey, like, I didn't have the chance to do this on Wano, but I'm going to do it here on Elbaf since there's trees here. That's a better terrain.
Well, if Rob Lucci has an awakening, I'm gonna be so upset if we don't see Admiral awakenings. I'm gonna be absolutely upset. I do understand like why we didn't see one, like you said, like for Kizaru to like have an awakening. That would be like, I mean, yeah, he was already doing everything. Which actually, bro, like, what did you think about that panel with Kizaru talking to Akainu? Like, and what did you think about that and how Akainu responded? Because I actually like,
I loved
had
it,
to
bro.
like, I loved it too. But what does that mean? Now I'm kind of confused. Now, who are these people? Now I don't know.
They're
anymore.
humans, man. Like, so for me, my top 3 characters. Number 1, man, I got Akainu. I love that guy. Akainu's my favorite. Rob Lucci's also up there, and then I also have Crocodile there as well. But that's a reason why I really liked it, because of the Akainu stuff, right? Like, we don't really see it that often because the Marines are often the bad guys for the Straw Hats. And yeah, that's fair. But they're all people at the end of the day who want to do what they think is justice. Whether it's right or wrong, that's like besides the point. But like, they're doing what they think is right. They have friends, they have these connections. And I love seeing the connection between Akainu and Kizaru because it really humanizes them. I feel like what we saw here was a very realistic take on how this would go down. Or like Akainu, for example, he just kind of pushes buttons a little bit too far. They're brothers, they're close friends. He didn't think that Kizaru would be this pressed about it. So that's why when Kizaru yelled at him, he backed down immediately. He said, yo, my bad, brother. And then apparently he's the same way that Luffy calls Ace and Sabo brother too. So that like connection runs deep. They've been in the Force for over 30 years together. Like they were the same rank for a long time. And yeah, I thought it was a great scene. Almost moved me to tears too with Kizaru and the whole flashback thing with the beams and the the Egghead Island stuff. I was like, yo, that was good.
He was hiding his eyes the whole time. The part that almost got me, honestly, which is kind of crazy, I guess it was both Kizaru and Akainu's, because what almost got me was Akainu's response, dude. I thought Akainu was about to be like, or at the very least, he was just gonna hang up on him. For him to apologize, bro, I was like, oh my god, how close are these people? But like you said, like, that's something I don't think I thought about from Akainu, but because you're right, like these are people, like real people with real emotions that have been through real things. And Akainu is someone I've always loved his character. I always loved what he represented to the story, and I couldn't wait for him to be humanized a little bit. I did not expect for him to be humanized right here, for that to come out, and then for it to be so brief, yet at the same time say so much. Like, I've got so much, like, I used to think he was just a heartless bastard that killed Ace. You know what I'm saying? And I thought we were supposed to think that up until we were fighting him, because that would then be the time for us to get, like, either a flashback or some context. But now we're already kind of getting the, like, no, there's something deeper going on here. He's not a monster. He's just, like, he just doesn't like pirates, I guess.
Yeah, he just hates pirates, which makes me wonder, like, what is his backstory going to be like, right? Did pirates do him wrong in the past, and that's why he is all about absolute justice? That's why he's so ruthless? Because I could totally see that being the case, right? Like, we follow Luffy, lighthearted, goofy, silly pirate, And he's going around to every island, you know, saving them, you know, fixing their country, beating the corrupted system. And that's cool and all, but that's not the standard for pirates, right? Like, dude, we have Kid. We got Caribou. You know, we got Gashed Albion. Like, we have a lot of pirates who are known for killing people and doing bad things. Like, so I get why Akainu is harsh against these guys. Like, they're not all Luffy's. Like, yeah, we got, like, Luffy, Shanks, and Whitebeard. They're great people, but, like, they're not the norm.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it's literally actually only Luffy. And then the people that Luffy brings into his really ridiculous way of thinking, like even Law is probably the closest, and he would crash out to do the right thing, but not to the extent like Luffy dead ass, like it does not matter. Like whatever the plan is, Luffy's going to be like, I want to do that. And then like it somehow good things happen. There is no other pirate that we can think about that does that. Kid is just trying to crash out. Like fucking, there's Blackbeard, for God's sake, an actually evil bastard
Blackbeard
going around
has a whole
doing
slave
evil
trade.
stuff. A whole slave trade he's going through, for God's sake. That ain't right. So if I was Akainu, that's what I'm saying. Like exactly what you said. This is actually the first time. It's not the first. Like I've always seen it through Akainu's eyes. I just thought he was kind of like, you know, you don't have to be that uptight about it. But this is the chapter that made me think, like, hold on, like. He knows something else. I believe when we get that flashback, we're going to learn something horrible that pirates have done. Like something really bad that he saw.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, yeah, he's just doing what he thinks is right. That's all it is. And I am excited to see like more of his backstory. I want to see if Dragon somehow pops into it as well, right? He calls Kizaru brother. Like, will he have the same reaction to Dragon when he sees him? Because they're the same age, right? They were probably in the military at the same time early on. And they have opposing senses of justice as well. Not opposing, but we don't know what Dragon's is. But he does say that there's no justice in the Navy. Akainu is absolute justice, so they're like yin and yang right there. So I think there is going to be a deeper story eventually. And also, I want to see how Akainu would react with his daughter Hibari, if that theory ends up becoming true.
Yeah, I think there's a lot for both of what you just said. I think there's a lot going for it. The only reason why I would keep my eyes open is because Oda is so notorious for being like, you thought I was going to do that, and then flips it completely into something that makes even more sense completely. But Hibari, for instance, for sure, that would be, I don't know if we're just seeing the potential in storytelling, but do you know how cool that would be if like Kobe and Hibari, obviously, like whether they're a thing or not, like they're close. You know what I'm saying? But imagine how cool it would be.
Pissed.
It would be so pissed. It would be so hot, man. It would be awesome. Like, and he would have we would get to see his conflict. Like, what am I going to do? Kill my daughter? And like, what would we, you know what I'm saying? Depending on the situation, I don't think he would do that, especially after this chapter, but I think he would still like have to act against his daughter, which would be awesome tension, really cool. But Dragon's another thing, dude. Like, I think like maybe the reason we haven't seen Dragon do anything is because he's as strong as Akainu, which is crazy to think about it. You know, like the dude who took punches from Whitebeard, Dragon is that strong that he could get up after getting punched by Whitebeard. Ooh, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with Hibari too, like we've seen kind of their father and daughter dynamic if it ends up becoming canon in the One Piece spin-off novels, because in the other novels, like Chaparimon and the high school one, like Oda actually drew Akainu and Hibari together, and they're like they work as like this father-daughter combo. So it's like it's pretty much confirmed, but it's just not in the story.
That's true. Another thing I wonder, when Kizaru asked him, have you ever had to kill your best friend? How close are Kuzan and Akainu? Like, because what if that was like, everything we know about Akainu would suggest like if you like tried to defy, well, I guess, well, no, there's leeway because Kuzan didn't really defect from the Marines. He just challenged Akainu for Fleet Admiral, so we wouldn't have a reason to kill him. But like they fought for like however long on Punk Hazard. So like, what if Akainu was in that similar situation and he knew what like Kuzan was going to do, and he didn't kill what would have been like his, like, I guess, quote unquote best friend? I still like the Dragon idea more, but like how close were Kuzan and Akainu? Because going back to the what is that Ohara flashback, from all the way back then, it looks like Kuzan was like, God, I don't like him. Like going that far back, he was like,
I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, it's like a simple duel, right? A duel for Fleet Admiral. But it sounded like they were going to kill each other. So I got it right here. Jimbei says both parties were severely wounded, but even Akainu could not find it in himself to slaughter the one-time ally that lay helpless before him. So he couldn't kill his best friend. He could have. It sounded like he should have as well, but he didn't.
I bet he's thinking that right now. Like, now you with Blackbeard? No. I
Yeah.
know he was thinking. Like, oh,
I think
man,
somebody
come on,
told him.
anybody.
I think the Gorosei were like, hey, you know, Kuzan, he's doing his thing. And then Akainu was like, I don't care about that guy. It's like a scorned lover,
dude,
man. That's the same thing he did with
almost,
Dragon. He's like, damn that Dragon. Like, all of his friends leave him.
It might give new context to why he was trying so hard to get Luffy and Marineford too, if he's really close to Dragon, which I don't know if that gives him points for humanity or not, if it makes him more evil, because it's like you can't go after your best friend, but you're trying to kill his kid. Like, that's kind of
Ooh. I mean, this can also recontextualize the whole Kizaru situation too, right? Like, he lost his friend Kuzan, he lost his friend Dragon. He doesn't want to lose Kizaru, brother. That's all he has left. Like, dude, squad, like, he's looking at the squad, and it's not the same anymore, you know? Like, at first it was you had the boys, and now you got Green Bull, you got Fujitora who's yelling at you. Like, man, I feel bad for this guy. Like, you walk into the office, it's a brand new group. You're working with Gen Z, brother.
Oh my God, I never thought about that, bro. You are 100% right.
The boomers are gone as Gen Z now. Hell no.
He's getting into work, and he's just like, and then there's Green Bull, which is a fanboy of Akainu. So like, Green Bull's like, so what are we doing today, boss? And he's like, God, shut up.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it feels bad. It's just an old man. Just let him be with his boys. What happened? What happened to the squad?
What happened to the squad, bro? Yeah, man. Oh my God, that's a great point. I know he's looking at that because, like, even if he didn't, like, he still worked with Kuzan for like a long time, even after, like, even if that was the seeds in Ohara, like, they were, you know, like Jinbei said, like, yeah, they were allies. So yeah, he couldn't bring himself to do it, dude. When we get the Akainu either flashbacks or more humanization from him, dude, it's gonna hurt. I'm calling it now. It's gonna hurt.
I mean, Oda in the SBS, he said he wants to cherish Akainu. He made Akainu modeled. He modeled Akainu after his favorite Yakuza actor. So it's like, yo, like, he also said that Akainu is the most handsome character in the series, which is kind of crazy. Like, you know, people can't really disagree with Oda's opinion there, but Oda loves this guy. Absolutely loves Akainu. Honestly,
and then I'll never forget when he said, if Akainu was the main character, he'd get One Piece in a year. I was like, a year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, you know how, like, we have Sun God Nika and Kaido's like, oh, like, this guy's out of a comic book. And then we have, like, Sora, the Warrior of the Sky, kind of all random, like, points, but Akainu was actually listed as one of the comics as well. Like, one of the comic books that exists in the One Piece world. So it's called Red Dog. This was an SBS. So, like, there's like a One Piece Pokemon spinoff that's in the series, according to Oda. Sora, I think there's, like, not Digimon, but, like, there's, like, one more, like, quote, spinoff as well that Oda put in, like, a gag. But Red Dog is one of the comics that exists in the world. So it's like, yo, like, Oda put him on that level, which is kind of nuts. It's One Piece SBS 105. And then he says left to right. There's Sora, Warrior of the Sea. There's Red Dog, Pokemon, Monkey Ball, and Maruko-san. And yeah, and if you guys don't know, Akainu means Red Dog in Japanese. So putting a comic called Red Dog in there is kind of nuts.
Dude, the glazing feels warranted. I actually feel like this is warranted. I think that the glazing is going to come when we finally get everything that we need to know about Akainu. The glazing is not only going to be worth it, but yeah, dude, I know I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to be like, damn, we still got to beat you up.
Preparing the waterworks, getting the eye drops ready, some tissues.
What did you think about? Do you think the Kuma and Bonnie stuff was that like the saddest in One Piece for you, or do you think there's something else that comes closer?
The saddest in One Piece. I'd say it's up there. I'm hesitant to give it like the number one spot, but I did really enjoy it, man. The Kuma scene of him running through the fields, you know, falling down. I love that. That's such a beautiful cinematic. When that hits the anime, I might have to like turn off the camera for a little bit. I don't know, brother, but yeah, like
I'm crying.
It's the father-daughter stuff that I really like, you know, it gets to me. So I really enjoyed it. I love seeing that unconditional love. I still kind of dislike, I mean, I always will. I still dislike the fact that they weren't able to save Ginny faster and sooner. You know, she had to escape on her own. That still like pisses me off a little bit. But it's the
Bro,
story,
dude,
like it's Marie's Raw, sure, but yeah, like
no, that
ugh.
pisses me off endlessly, bro. It pisses me off so much because it makes sense for Dragon because we know that he just doesn't do anything and he has his quote unquote reasons. Ivankov and Kuma, why didn't they crash out, bro? Why on earth didn't they try to like, you know, I just like I feel like there's an answer that I guess you could say, but nah, dude, like I'm so angry about that. The second she was captured, I just don't know why everyone like there was like Kuma became a darker man and it was like one Cap he was crashing out still against evil people. I don't really consider that darker at all, like maybe more ruthless, sure, but if he just channeled that to where she was captured, and then did he have his devil fruit where he could teleport
he had
in and
his
out?
devil fruit.
Okay, well then I'm even more mad. I'm so much more mad, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a little bit toxic too, but like, even if we find out that the Holy Knights are like Yonko level, like 11 of those bastards up in Marie's Raw, and they would slaughter Kuma in a single hit. Hey, I'm one of those guys where I'm like, hey, let's just go there anyways. What do we have to lose, man?
Legitimately,
all we have to lose is our life.
Sabo went to go get Kuma because he was like, y'all are tripping. I'm getting Kuma. He went to Mary Joy like, hell no. He came face to face with Emu and got out of there. Bro, hell no, it could have been done. There's no way Sabo's a strong character, but there's like, come on, bro. Kuma, especially at the time, and with his devil fruit, they could have gotten Jenny back, bro. Like
it could have been.
I don't blame. Like I think that's plot, so I'm not blaming Kuma. Like I really think he would have if Oda would have let him do it, but I just like I hate that. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's plot because like that devil fruit. I don't think Oda really thought about like how this devil fruit would really change the conversation, because it's not like, oh, you have to climb up the red line, or you know, he'd have to do this or that. It's like, no, you could just teleport. I mean, maybe he climbs it the first time around, right? Because he needs the location stored. Sure, he climbs it the first time around, but after he gets Ginny, he could just pop out of there, brother.
Just get out of there. That's what I'm saying. Like
horrible because Fisher Tiger did it. The guy didn't have any power. Fisher Tiger was weak. He lost a strawberry.
I'm so mad.
Strawberry and 5 Marines took out Fisher Tiger. Fisher Tiger freed the slaves. God. Oh man, you're reigniting the heat in me. Okay, so besides the Kuma part, we'll get back to that. The traitor stuff on Egghead Island. The traitor stuff. Okay. You know, York, you know, messing everybody up, the Seraphim going haywire, Rob Lucci teaming up with Luffy, Zoro and Kaku. How did you feel about this whole thing when it went down? Did you have like an answer as to who this might be and who's like causing all these shenanigans? Like, where were you with this?
I thought it was Shaka. I don't think I ever thought it was York. And then when it was revealed, then when Shaka got shot in the head, I was sure. I was like, all right, this is a ruse.
This is a
misdirection or whatever. When it was revealed to be York, I felt so bad. I was like, damn, so he was just cool, Daft Punk chilling out? I'm sorry. He was the only dude in a mask, to be fair. So I was like, okay, he's hiding something. But no, he was just cool in it.
Yeah, imagine he takes off the mask. His eyes are like rolled up to the back of his head. His tongue's out. He's just like over here scheming.
Yeah, he was definitely going to be, even without those experiences, he was going to be a freaky looking dude for sure. Like I know, like that's how Oda does everything. I know he was going to look freaky.
Yeah, but we're never going to see his face, which is kind of crazy. Like I really thought we'd see it. People were making theories like till the dogs came home, brother. They're like, yo, it's Dragon. You know, it's a young Dragon, a young Vegapunk. It's going to be a young Rox or something silly. But now it's like, no, he's just dead.
We literally won't see it. And I know how it's going to, like, we're probably going to get, like, we probably will in like an irrelevant flashback because, bro, I didn't know what we got of God Valley genuinely took me by surprise. So like that wasn't more than what it needed to be. I understand why I wanted to stay there longer, obviously, because oh my God, God Valley is going to be like an insane thing for us to get to. But I believe we're going to get all of the answers that I guess maybe we won't ever figure out what Shaka really looked like. Maybe he was just a robot, to be honest. I really
There's like nothing behind there but like nuts and bolts.
Truly. I mean, hell, that's what I would imagine for, what was that little robot dude? Edison, was it?
Edison, yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine he's just a robot, honestly. So maybe that's it.
Damn. So in between all this, we got the truth of the Revery. We see that King Cobra's assassinated. We see Emu, the Gorosei, all their silly silhouettes. And I thought that was pretty good. I really did enjoy this part of One Piece. I didn't like the first 1 or 2 chapters because I'm not a big revolutionary fan. You know, that's true for a lot of media. I'm not a big fan of revs. I don't know, like they rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, why don't you just get oppressed by the government like a regular citizen, brother? No, that's crazy. That's crazy to say, but you know, like revs in general, like, I feel like if they were cooler, I would like them more. But yeah, like as it stands right now, the only revs I like, Sabo. I just got to give it a Sabo.
It's literally just Sabo, and it's not through. I really like Ivankov's character, but I think Ivankov like puts so much faith in Dragon, and if we knew more about why Dragon refuses to do anything, because think about Sabo got Kuma, and it was his like plot. Like no one sent like Dragon wasn't like, hey, go get Kuma. Sabo was like, hell no, I'm not leaving Kuma there, bro. Like you are insane. Like that proves it's either the bit of Luffy that was in him that made him go and do that, or Sabo's just a better guy. They started calling him Flame Emperor because he went to Mary Joy and got people back. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I definitely agree. The Revolutionary Army, bro, like, I need to know what it is they keep doing, because they're like, if they're the main opposition, supposed to be the main opposition of the Celestial Dragons, we in the Straw Hats have done, in my opinion, if not just as much, I would say more in a lot of different regards. We punched the Celestial Dragons.
Man, like I believe in the revs. Like I really do. I like you said, I like their characters. Like Ivankov's great. I think Dragon will be great. Don't get me wrong. Dragon is always going to be built up to be like an amazing character. We just don't have it right now. So we're only going off of what we have. You know, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the future. But the worst part about this segment is that we get introduced to 4 new revs that are equally as lame. Jirone, Ahiru, Gambu, and Ushiano. Like, these guys, who are they? Why do we need more random revs? Maybe they just want to flesh it out, but I don't know.
Deadass, I don't even know. You mentioned all those. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about.
You are the 4th person I've collabed with, and I brought up these names, and they just flew over your head. Nobody remembers these guys.
I have no idea who they are at all. The Revolutionary. I remember that one lady that had her chest out, and she like her devil fruit power was making people believe in themselves or something.
Betty, yeah. She has the rally fruit.
I was like, that is so Mickey, but okay.
Yeah,
sure.
She like waves a flag. Like, you can do it.
Why the hell don't you go do that anywhere else too? Like, if that's what you can do, why don't you rally some people to fight with you? Why don't y'all do something? Why did Sabo have to bring these people and make them get Kuma, one of the founding members of the Revolutionary Army? Someone who is like, he's like the number 3 for God's sake. Why did Sabo have to be like, I don't care what, I'm getting Kuma? Why did it have to be Sabo? You know, like I know, like you said, I believe in Dragon, but it's just, it's more that I believe that Oda isn't going to waste Dragon. His character hasn't given me anything.
Dragon. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a year from now, we'll look back at this and be like, oh yeah, we were right. Like, you know, Dragon looked silly, but now he's looking great. Like, it's all it is. That's why I think it's fine to hate Dragon now. Like, people are like, yo, like how do you not like the Dragon stocks? It's like, okay, Dragon stocks are very different. Like, there's not a single person who reads One Piece who believes that Dragon's gonna be bad. It's more like, we don't like Dragon right now. Like, that's all it is. Like, this man is the ... king. Like, it's crazy. But how do you feel about Dragon's plan? Like, his whole plan with going to Marie's Raw was to destroy the food supply and set the flag on fire. Like, do you think, I mean, obviously it has to, but like, how do you think this food supply thing is going to play out?
So is that when Sabo came and you told everybody and that's what they were doing? So this is in the present day. This is what their current plan, that's what they're doing right now?
They already did it.
Oh, they already did it?
Yeah, they already did it. And last we saw, the Celestial Dragons, back when Akainu was fighting Kuma up at the Red Line, they were like, hey, Akainu, where's my lobster? You know, all we have is cake now.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember now. I think that's a really good strategic move, and I think that many people have done that in wartime. I just think my problem is, I guess this is what I think we need. We need more information about the Revolutionary Army, because if that's all that they can do, then obviously I think that's a great idea. The problem is, if you have people that are strong enough to do other things, it depends on how many soldiers that they have, or is everybody on there just fodder level people that are only like, it's better that we don't outright just engage, because there are plenty of I guess it's hard because I don't know exactly how strong are the God's Knights, how strong are the forces in Mary Joy. So it's like, that's a really safe thing to do, and obviously it's a good idea, but my criticism would be you've had like how many years to do just that? Like, is there anything else we could be doing? Is my question.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So Dragon, he said he was waiting for the God Knights to mobilize, the Holy Knights. And we got like some silhouettes of these guys, and I just want to get your opinion. How strong do you think these people are? I mean, when Dragon was worried about the world government, he wasn't worried about the Gorosei. He did not even imagine those guys. It was only the Holy Knights. Do you think the Holy Knights will be stronger than the Gorosei? And if so,
they better be.
Like, what kind of powers do you think they'll have? You say they gotta be?
They better be, bro. Them old men.
I hope so, dude. I hope so.
They went to Egghead and they were trying to figure out how to turn that computer off for like 30 chapters. They were so useless, dude. It was so funny, but they were so useless. Luffy was fighting them, and it was like, yeah, he didn't beat them, but it was like they were taking hits like Blackbeard. Like they had to regenerate. They were carrying on that. Like I remember talking to Rob about this, bro. Like they are so sorry to me. Like not just because I hate them for what Saturn did to Kuma, but like all of them pulled up to Egghead and they did not stop anything. Literally nothing. They could have kept their asses there and everything would have been the same. That's insane. That's crazy. All of the Gorosei could not do anything. I need one God's Knight to be stronger than all 5 of them combined.
I would
That's
love that.
what I need.
No, dude, you're like you're rising the snake, brother. You're like the Pied Piper. You're blowing on that flute and snakes are fucking rising from the ground. Like that's such a great idea. Like, I mean, well, not great idea, but like I love that because you're the only person I've talked to that has believed in the Holy Knights to that extent, or want to believe in them. Yeah,
I do believe that they're going to be not, because for one thing, the one that we did see, the dude with red hair, the figurine guy that kind of looks like Shanks in the God Valley flashback, and then now he's like the judge of like. I would imagine he has to get like a fight or some type of like show of power again, because we got like an entire like introduction to that character, and he's an old man. So who is currently in charge of the God's Knights? What do they look like? They have got to be stronger than those useless old men. They just have to. Like it's just there's no way. And I need one of them to be just like stronger, because it also makes sense. It would give Dragon in them for a reason to not act and a reason to lure them out so that they can catch them in either traps, or maybe you literally can't beat them in Gore and Mary Joy. Maybe you literally cannot beat them in Mary Joy. You need them to mobilize and leave in order to fight them on your own turf, because something over there, it's impossible for them to deal with. I need them to be so OP, and I need them to have contingencies. Maybe they don't even have to be competent fighters. Maybe they're like so strong, they're like Frieza, resting on their laurels, and they haven't trained in a while, but they're strong. They are that strong. And we need to fight them.
Yeah, like, dude, for me right now with the God Knights, like, I think the Shanks tax is gonna go hard. We're gonna see more of like the Figarland family, and just the fact that these guys are at God's Valley fighting Roger and all these boys. It's like they've gotta be strong. They have to, please. Which the only thing I'm worried about now is that they're all also gonna be really old, because God Valley, that was like 38 years ago. Like, Garling, we saw him as a young buck over there. He was great. But now it's like, yo, like, are they all going to be, like, 80-year-old men? Like, what if we get the Holy Knights and it's just like the Gorosei? They're all just old.
Don't say that. No, don't say that. I literally haven't thought about that. No. They have to be young enough for us. They could be in their 30s, or even like Kaido in their like 40s and 50s and Big Mom. I'll take that, but please God, don't give us more
like,
old men. Even if
recycle
nice.
them, you know, like bring in their kids or something.
Yeah, honest to God, because we just got a silhouette when Vegapunk was talking about the letter D in his transmission, and we saw like another silhouette of a dude holding one of those swords. It looked like maybe he was a God's Knight or something like that. Yeah, they got to be young. That literally has to be. Like, we got to fight.
It can't be all old people, guys. Please.
No, please God. Or
even someone's gonna be like running through a senior citizen's home.
Yeah, I don't want that. I think we should definitely piece up the Gorosei, and then really the thing about the Gorosei, dude, we just got to figure out how to get past their regeneration. They're done. They are absolutely finished. Like that's literally it. And then after that, then the other old man, the Figurling, Garling, the old, he's a problem. Like, I respect him as an old man. I don't think we need any more old people. Like, that's it. We got it. Like, it's fine.
So as far as powers go, do you think they're gonna have the same powers as the Gorosei, where they all transform? Do you think they're gonna have devil fruits? Or do you think they're gonna be hockey men, swordsmen? How do you feel about them?
I think they're all going to be like insane amounts of haki because I think that would give credence to what Kaido said, like all like the strongest haki prevail. I think that would give credence to like it would also better inform us of if Shanks is connected, like how like he's like because he doesn't have a devil fruit. I think they all should just be strictly haki. I wouldn't mind if they had devil fruits, but I think the thing with devil fruits is like I think it would like the fact that they're called devil fruits and like Mary Joy is like we're so far above you. I kind of want like I know this is my headcanon, but I kind of want there to be like a
Angel fruit?
like maybe something like that, but at least like a discrimination towards devil fruits. Like they look at anyone with a devil fruit like you are beneath us, basically.
Yeah.
Like
oh, they already do that,
if,
like with Boa, right? Like they gave her and her sisters devil fruits because they thought it was funny. So it looks like they only give devil fruits to slaves.
Exactly. So I want that to better inform their characters to where either, like you said, like an angel fruit or something just better to where it doesn't take away their ability to swim, or it's just like power, or literally just haki, or even some new power thing that we haven't seen, to be honest.
Yeah, like magic.
Straight up magic, yeah. I mean, the Gorosei already are just like, I mean, just demons. That
we're about to get to them here in a minute, but the last thing I got to ask you about the Revery. Cobra. That bozo is dead. He got destroyed. He tried to read Lily's letter. He got stabbed by Emu. And yeah, he's gone. He's kicked the bucket. Were you particularly sad about his departure? And how did you feel about his final moments?
I think he stood on business. I wasn't sad because of a couple things. One, I know that this is motivation for Vivi, and I almost welcomed it because Vivi, by far, we've seen that she was, to be honest, she had, like, we didn't see her in a ruling position, but we saw her potential to rule better than Cobra. Cobra couldn't stop that rebellion in his town, and he wasn't even doing nothing wrong. I don't know what I would have wanted him to do, but it's just like, there was so much. Do you remember that shit? It was, what was the dude's name? What was his name?
Which one, Mr. 2 or Crocodile?
Nah, not it was the dude who was he treated him like a son, and he was the one in charge of the whole revolution that was happening in Alabasta. Koza, yeah. You couldn't have stopped that, like, bro, like, come on. It was like I think even King Riku, like in Dressrosa, he would have been like, well, hang on, something's happening here. We can stop this.
You know,
but Cobra
like,
just kind of
it could have been solved with one little conversation. Yeah, I just recently rewatched Alabasta again, and I was like, yo, they really could have just talked and be like, hey, like, it's not us doing it. Like, this dance powder, this rain, I promise you, man, you could follow me for 24 hours. I'm not burning this rain powder. It's not happening.
You know how sorry it is? The leader of that revolution is someone that you have such a personal connection with. You could have talked him down, brother. There's no, like, there's even a situation where Koza's talking to him, and it's like right before he formed the revolution, he's like, well, if you're not going to do it, I guess I will. And he turns and walks away. I'm like, Cobra, stop him.
Yeah,
like, stop
Cobra's
him.
just like, huh.
Stop.
I can't be helped. Young men, am I right? It's like, what?
And it don't help. You already look evil as hell. Your name is King Cobra, for God's sake. You got that Rob Lucci beard. He looked evil, bro. If I was Koza, I'd be like, yeah, he's
and then,
doing
like,
something, bro.
I never understand. I mean, I understand it, right? It's you're coming from a place of authority, but it doesn't help that Cobra's like 50 flights of stairs above him, looking down at Koza. Like, the throne room is insane. Like, how can you even hear the guy up there? Yeah,
dude, it's
he's
so
just looking down
on you. If I was
you.
Koza, I'd be like, bro, just give us some water, you asshole.
Yeah,
oh
dude,
my God.
Alabasta is so funny. One thing that really like makes me kick my feet like a schoolgirl is just remembering the fact that Crocodile on the dot every day in the afternoon would send a localized sandstorm to old man Toto in the village. every day, Toto's like digging out, he's looking for that spring oasis water, and then on the dot, Crocodile sends a little tornado to him to mess up all of his progress. That is so petty. That is the pettiest thing I've ever seen in One Piece.
That is true.
For
and I
years.
bet he was standing on his balcony smoking a cigar like, watch this.
Watch this, Mr. One.
Yeah.
Down his bones, check this out. Just throws a tornado at him.
God, you're right. That is so fucking funny. But no, I didn't.
Oh, man.
I think he had a good death scene, but no, I wasn't.
You weren't moved?
Really, like, I wasn't pretty broken up. Yeah, not too much. Mainly because I knew what it would do for Vivi, and and he was already in a wheelchair. Wasn't he already sick too?
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. He's coughing and stuff. You know, if anything, I don't blame Cobra, right? He's just a regular guy, no powers, no fighting capabilities. But you know who I do blame? Chaka and Pell. These bodyguards, dude, aren't they supposed to be like right outside of this room? They ended up roaming around, and then Cobra just died next door. And it's like, you guys, no like observation haki, like, oh, like I think my king's in trouble. You know, like, you know, Pell coming in and, you know, taking the blow and finally dying. Like, nothing?
The right and left hands of the kings of Alabasta, Sabo had to come in there and try to save him. Sabo wasn't even supposed to be there. Like, Sabo had to jump in and see what he was. But you are completely right. Pell shouldn't even be there, for the love of God. He shouldn't
just
be.
Pell's ghost? Imagine. Oh, dude, imagine somebody, like, walks into Alabasta, they're talking to Chaka, the left-hand guy. And then Chaka's like, oh, let me get Pell's opinion. And then we finally get a panel where they're like, wait, Pell, like, he's been dead for 10 years. And then it turns out Pell's a ghost. They've just been like, you know, it's been in their mind the entire time.
No, that would actually be, like, sad and so brilliant, to be completely honest. Like, Vivi, like, he was like, if he was like, do you mean like on some, like, they just see what they want to see shit? Or he was actually like, yeah, dude, that would be actually
like
awesome.
Vivi's like, hey, Pell, can you pass that? And like Pell's in the room with Vivi, and then they're like, Vivi, it's just you in here,
bro.
Like, that would be amazing.
Because, oh
see, that would be good.
That would be really, really good. And
Get rid of
oh
him.
my God, that would be so great.
Yeah, it's
but
just
as
trauma.
it stands, yeah, dude. Like, but they didn't do like anything. Yeah, they should have did something. I'm glad you mentioned that. They should have did something at the Reverie. What all that stuff, even without like what? Wait. Yeah, why did they even go in with him? Why was it just Cobra in there, like, by himself?
Well, Cobra told him to wait outside, which is why Chaka and Pell weren't in there. But even then, like, at the Reverie, like, I don't know. I feel like if your king goes in a room by himself, like, you would want to wait outside the door or something. Like, they took it literally and they went outside. And then, you know, after Cobra died and Vivi went missing, you saw Chaka and Pell, like, walking around the Reverie, like, hey, king. And then even Ingram was there, the George Washington looking guy. Like, dude, none of these guys couldn't find Cobra, and they couldn't find Vivi. What are they doing? Fire these guys, man.
Not to mention, while all of this is going down, Sabo is leading people through the street, shit up, trying to find Kuma, and to the point where, did you know what that means for Sabo to like get to the throne room? He sees Chaka and Pell just outside, like, okay, whatever, and he just goes in, walks in, like, whatever. I'm just gonna go save. Yeah, completely sorry.
Crazy.
But rest in peace, Cobra. Honestly, he's
rest in peace, Cobra. One cool thing we got was Emu's transformation. The Gorosei, you know, we'll talk about them here in a bit because we actually see them. But Emu. Where do you fall with Emu's transformation? What do you think he is? Personally, I think he is either a dragon, like a Western dragon, or he is a cartoon devil to kind of mirror and mimic Luffy. That's kind of where I'm at personally, but I would love to hear your opinion. Like, what do you think he is? Do you have any like hot takes, special things?
No, I think personally I didn't give too much to, because the thing is we still basically see Emu as a silhouette because Oda is just a crazy person. And we've seen this person. You know how many chapters we've seen Emu?
Dude,
and we
it's crazy.
Literally can't see anything else. Like, so I've put it out of my head, but I think those are really good. I think if we want like absolute like mirror symbolism, I think like Emu being like a cartoon devil figure would be awesome. I think the only way that like, or not the only way, but I see that working like a bunch of different ways actually. Do you see it more like in a funny type of way, or in like a
half and half? I see it. So my theory is that Luffy's the sun god. I think Emu's the moon god. And funny enough, if you take Emu's name, it actually, Emu Neurona, if you put it together and you spell it out, it actually makes Buddha god, which is pretty specific because the Buddha was born on a full moon. So it's like, yeah, like I think there have been some hints that he could be like moon related, and then you have the 16 phases of the moon. Emu and the Holy Knights and the world government, they're all about the number 16. So I'm kind of falling on that theory a lot. I can't tell if it's because that's what I'm looking at, so I'm just kind of like, you know, putting myself in an echo chamber with the moon god theory, but I think that might be possible.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that you're imagining things. I think if anything, Oda's great at doing stuff like that. But yeah, I think I would lean more towards that. I think it'd be cool. The only reason why I wouldn't say that it'd be a dragon is because we got Kaido, just the coolest looking. Like it could be like you said, a Western dragon, and I would accept that because that would be really sick. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But like Kaido just seems like just such like the coolest. And then we got Momonosuke. To add a third dragon, he better be the sickest dragon
we even have
we've
the
ever
Punk
seen.
Hazard dragons, brother. Like we got those guys too.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah,
the
he would
monsters,
have to
Ryuma
be-
dragon.
Ooh, but you know what? He can't be because if he's a dragon, people are gonna go crazy. Like Zoro kills Emu, they're gonna go
Oh
insane.
no! Stop!
They're
Ah!
gonna go crazy. You know that's gonna happen,
It's gonna
bro.
happen,
you
dude.
know it.
Actually, here's a good question for you. If you could be a dragon, Eastern or Western, where would you go? Like what kind of dragon would you want to be? Or like, I'll throw a wyvern in there too. Give you some options.
I would definitely go like Game of Thrones type dragon. That's what.
So
I
like
would pick.
the Western dragon.
I guess that would be Western dragon for sure. That's what I'd be.
Yeah, you like the arms and legs, and like the wings.
I just think. Yeah, like I'd like a dragon, like basically like, because what Eastern is like it's like Shinron, right?
Yeah, it's like Shenron. It's like Kaido. Like no big wings. They kind of like float on clouds.
Yeah. I'm Western all day. I just would like.
Same.
I like the idea of, and that's definitely the type of dragon I would want to have as a pet. Like I like just like I'm just walking my dragon, and then maybe we'll go for a fly.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I do like the Western dragons. They're just like beefier, right? Like the Eastern ones, they're more like slim and long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the Western ones are just like they're like thicker and girthier, I guess is a good way to put it.
That's the word I was trying not to use, but like girthier
Yeah.
is
No,
definitely
we gotta like bring back the word girthy. There's a lot of words that have been like sexualized too heavily. We gotta bring back girth, moisture, just a lot of these like gooner terms nowadays. We gotta bring it back.
So if I ever own a dragon, I'm naming him Girth. Solidified.
There we go. There we go. So we got a lot of random fights along Egghead Island. We got Law and Blackbeard. We got Kid and Shanks. We got Garp versus Kuzan. Which one was your favorite? There's a lot here, so we're not going to stick on all of them, but which one was your favorite? Which one were you most excited for? And did any of the outcomes surprise you?
So these are fights outside of Egghead?
Yeah.
We're talking about? Yeah, I would definitely say my favorite is for sure Garp versus Kuzan, and it's just simply because we got some more Garp Kuzan lore, as well as a really dope Kobe moment where he does that punch.
He needs a better name for it.
Yeah, Honesty Impact, right?
Yeah, Honesty Impact.
Dude, it's so awesome. That was by far my
Really
favorite.
awesome.
I can't call Shanks and Kid a fight at all.
Really?
I just can't. I can't. Well, I mean, Kid pulled up, and then what? Then that's what happened. Then what happened to him happened. I can't really call it a fight, honestly. Like without even disrespecting him, I like Garp versus Kuzan is a fight. Garp pulled up, like punched a crater into Pirate Island, and then Kuzan and him fought for a while, and then a bunch of other stuff happened. It was like a mad dash, and then Garp ended up having to be like, those are events that can happen. With Kid, it's like he showed up, and then Shank showed up, and I have to stop talking about it. Like that's it. That's all that happened.
that's very fair. Do you think Kid's still alive?
Do I think Kid? Yeah, I think Kid's still alive.
Nice.
I definitely think. I think when he comes back, he's gonna try to crash out again. Honestly.
Yeah, he's probably training right now or something.
Yeah, and we didn't see that much of Law versus Blackbeard, but that was, or we did. We just didn't see Blackbeard win.
Yeah,
which
I mean, classic
don't
Blackbeard,
like.
right?
Yeah, classic Blackbeard. I don't like it, but I still get it. But that's why Garp and Kuzan is my favorite. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like the master and pupil aspect they brought to the table. I like the fact that all of these pirates also like ganged up on him too, right? San Juan Wolf, you got like Vasco shot, Shiryu stabbing him from behind, like you got all these guys just trying to run on Garp, and I love the way they fight. It's not honorable. It's not your typical one-on-one per se, but I do like that they realize that Garp is a threat and that they have to work together to take him down. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's true. Would that be your favorite too, or did you have another?
I think that'd be my favorite. Just the length of it all is great. I loved all the characters that were involved. Except for some of the Marines. I think Tashigi was absolutely useless on that island. Why even bring Tashigi there? She didn't do a single thing. When I saw that giant Pika-esque arm coming off of the island, Kobe, he crossed my mind, but I was like, okay, Zoro is the one who cut off Pika's arm at Dressrosa. This is like a smaller kind of version of this. So maybe Tashigi's gonna do this and show that she's still a swordsman. You know, she's keeping up, you know, with Dressrosa Zoro. But that wasn't the case. Tashigi just stood there and said, hey, we're gonna die. And that was it. And Bogard was there too, and Bogard didn't do a single damn thing.
That's such a good point, because she could, even if she went to go do it and it didn't work and she failed, that would have been a character moment.
Oh yeah,
I would
100%.
have applauded, because like that would have been like, because that's kind of what's been happening with her, dude. I want, like, this is kind of like, I don't think this is a hot take, but like what would be really interesting is if some weird like mind thing happened to Tashigi later on and she just became like a badass like super
Weird
swordsman,
mind
and then
thing.
like well, like if like she's actually Kuina or something and some bullshit amnesia thing happened, and then like apparently, or if she's a clone and then like because there's some connection to Kuina, right? Something happens and her personality is completely different, but she becomes somehow she goes from like the nice person that she is, which is terrible at swordsmanship, then she goes to like this evil, like Zoro has to fight her, but seriously, that could be a serious issue for like Zoro to like have to come to terms with his issues with not like wanting to seriously fight women, and have to, but also like I need to like actually like this is Kuina or something, just something interesting. I don't know if it's there, I don't know if that would ever happen, but I want the resolution to like, why does she look like Kuina? Like, what's going on there? Is it just a coincidence? Why did she trip down some stairs and then die? Like, I'm with Zoro. That's kind of cap, honestly. Like, but like, what's going on?
Yeah, what an insane thing. I would rather them say that Kuina got murdered than just fell down some stairs. Because like falling down the stairs, yeah, like in a real life, right? In real life, people die to falling down the stairs all the time. That's like, you know, at least once a day somebody dies to falling down the stairs. But for a shonen character who at the time of the flashback was stronger than Zoro, you know, she was bodying Zoro every single second of the day. She fell down some stairs and died. And the house, it's not like the Eiffel Tower. Brother, it's one flight of stairs.
There's like 3 stairs. I'm so glad you said that. So there's like 3 stairs on that flight. I went back to look at it. I was like,
and if you go back to look at it, there's a rug at the doorstep. She could have fallen on the rug.
I know Zoro was. I would have been, because imagine if Zoro falls down a flight of stairs, even if he's 5 years old, his big ass head, it doesn't matter. He's just going to be like, well, that hurt. And it's going to be like, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. But then, so it's like Oda did that, but Pell can just materialize after being exploded. I don't know, man. Something's going on. Mark my words, something's going on.
Yeah. Something's going on. I mean, with Tashigi, I'm kind of falling on the fact that she might be from Wano. Or like, you know, her family's from Wano, because we heard that like, you know, 50 families left Wano like 20 years ago when Kaido came into power. And that's how we got Shimotsuki Village. That's how we have that one guy who, you know, forged a bunch of cursed blades on the island. So I think there's a good chance that Tashigi could be from one of them, you know, since they all kind of scattered around the world. So that's kind of what I'm banking on. Like, how does that flip her? How does that like make her serious and powerful? I'm not too sure. But well, that's right, I hope it happens, man.
Like we need closure with her and Zoro's arc. There's no way that happens with her as she is. That's why something very, very like sincere and distinct has to happen for this arc to have closure. Because otherwise, Zoro is just going to keep dogging her and pretending like she's nothing.
I mean, remember Monet? Right? Dude, Monet. I thought Tashigi was going to win. I honestly thought Tashigi was going to win when we got that. I was like, yo, Tashigi's going to do it. She's going to show that she's actually a fighter. But she couldn't beat Monet. And then Zoro had to step in and do it.
Flawless, like without even like putting his sword on her, by the way. Like he literally just scared her to like just like stand down, basically. Like no haki or anything. Beat her in the most disrespectful way, like I'm up here. And apparently... he's like, I'm up here, Monet's down here, and Tashigi, apparently you're even farther below, I guess. I'm sorry. Like, it was so disrespectful. All of it was.
And that was the last time we saw Tashigi fight, too. That was the last time, brother. That's it. Yeah.
No.
Rest in peace. So now that Blackbeard has Garp frozen and as a hostage, what do you think is going to come out of that? Do you think he's going to use Garp as a bargaining chip? Do you think he's going to cause a war with it? Do you think people are going to go to save Garp? Like Sengoku and Sudo, for example, right? Sengoku and Sudo heard that Garp was, fighting Blackbeard at his territory, and they also heard that Crossskill was running rampant. Next thing you know, Sengoku and Sudo set sail on their marine battleship. We don't know where they're going. Do you think they're going to save Garp? Do you think they're going to Cross Guild or some third option? And how do you feel about the Garp fallout?
I think the Garp fallout is brilliant. I think everything on Hachinosu is brilliant. I think that they have to, because Garp is like, he means a lot to a lot of people, and he's like the Marine hero. I think a lot of people, to the point to where I even think Akainu would spare some soldiers. Like, no, go get him. We can't let like the pirate. If for no other reason, then that is a win for the pirates. So I think there's definitely people on their way there now to go even the score. No matter who that is, I want it to be like a reverse Marineford situation, so that Garp can actually be put in that situation. I don't know what the outcome would be, but I want the Marines to have to go on pirate territory. I want it to be the start of like a whole other world war. Maybe not the start of something as big as Marineford, but I want the Marines to pull up. I would imagine, I guess, I don't know. This is a question I have for you. Do you think Luffy would even get involved?
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
I would hope so.
I really would hope so. I don't think that he's mad at Garp for Marineford. I really don't think that's in Luffy's character. But at the same time, yeah, I would hope so too, because if Luffy finds out, I think that he would. I want to lean towards that. I know that there's some people on the crew, like Zoro might be like, hey, we probably shouldn't, but like, because especially if it's like not every Marine is going, I can definitely see the Straw Hats pulling up as like backup and getting involved in that war. Oh, that'd be so sick. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then we get that last moment with Garp and Luffy, and then maybe Garp dies. And I think that could be a big character moment for Luffy.
I think he has to. I wouldn't be mad if he doesn't die. I really like Garp as a character, but at the same time, I think everything that's happened, I think that like, because I know he feels guilt over Ace. And I think once we get more context on why he thinks being a Marine is so necessary, I think it's going to make more sense. And like I said, I don't think Luffy even blames him for what happened. Like, at
there's
all.
no way
I think
he does.
can reinforce that. There's no way that he does. I just think that there's like, but if Luffy were Garp, I think he would like accept responsibility in that regard. So I know that Garp being Luffy's granddad on a large level, and we already know that he does. He went back and saw Don, and he was just like, yeah, I deserve this. I'm so like, but there's got to be a reason for it. So I need that closure, and I need it to be like Luffy being the same person that he is, like not even mentioning what happened to Ace, just like, you're my grandfather, so I'm getting you out of here. And he hates Blackbeard. So that's another reason why he's like, yeah, I'm not, there's no way I'm letting you do this again.
I mean, Blackbeard took Ace away, essentially. You know, if Blackbeard never fought Ace, Marineford would have never happened. So yeah, Luffy hates Blackbeard. We saw their interaction at Impel Down. If he finds out that Blackbeard is about to take away another family member, it's over. And
I think so.
I doubt the revolutionaries are going to get involved, but Sabo was also pretty familiar with Garp. I wonder if something's going to be triggered there. Maybe Sabo's like, hey, I know Luffy's going to do something, so maybe I have to go too. But I don't see that being the case. The revolutionaries are kind of off in their own world. But
no, I can see. No, Sabo would have to do the same thing again. Like, y'all not gonna help him again? Isn't that your dad, Dragon? Fuck. All right, let's go to Hachinosu.
I forgot about Oh yeah. Wait, do you think Dragon's gonna do something?
Hell no, bro. He didn't. Hell no, bro. He didn't. Hell no, bro. I don't think he would do. I think at this point in the story, I think he would do something for Luffy if Luffy got, because not only would he have the backup and the numbers, but I just think we've got enough of a build up for that to make sense. But also Luffy's got relation. I think Sabo would literally make him like, no, we're going to go get Luffy. But Garp is like literally like Dragon's dad. I don't know. I don't see, to be completely honest, I think he would just be like, look, my dad knew what the hell, like, he knew what the risk was. I see Sabo doing something more than Dragon, honestly.
Yeah, and Sabo barely, like, he knows Garp, but he doesn't know Garp that well. But
he would know that Luffy's going.
Yeah,
and
he would know that Luffy's going.
Yeah.
I guess the one downside would be if Blackbeard isn't on Hachinosu, because the last article we got said that Garp is missing. It didn't really give like a direct location, and we know that Blackbeard he's a wily guy. Like, he travels around the world, you know, he's very active. So there is a chance that Garp isn't even on the island anymore, which would be very unfortunate. So there's a lot of ways this could play out, but base level, I hope that Luffy, if he finds out where Garp is at and he knows who has him, I really do hope that Luffy goes to save him. I think that'd be a big plot point.
And I think it's going to be a trap, like you were saying. I think like it's definitely, whether he's there or not, it's definitely going to be a trap. Like Blackbeard's setting this up, like it's going to be a war, and he's going to bring people in. So yeah, honestly, it depends on Blackbeard, but yeah, I would want Luffy to go there.
And it kind of reminds me of this chapter where like they had that controversial Zoro line where he said, "Oh, Luffy's an emperor now. He's being so torn up over one old guy, like one old guy dying. Come on, dude. Like, will he say that if Garp dies? You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah, he absolutely is going to. Like, he is, and I know that's like Zoro likes to like he can't ever let people know like, yeah, this affects me too. So he's just, I guess, gonna say some unhinged shit
that's just
like
who
that.
He is, man.
Like, I understand, and I just like that. Like every time he does, Luffy doesn't even take it to heart. He's just like, all right, whatever. He's going through it. Like I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Zoro on Zoe, where Zoro was like, oh, like Curly Brows is gone. Wow, just leave him. Who cares about him? And then I think in like a Revery card or SBS, Oda was like, yeah, like Zoro actually really cares about Sanji's well-being. He's like don't forget, guys. Absolutely. Like they care about each other, just don't say it.
That's why that scene, I love it so much. Like, Zoro tells Luffy that he's like, oh, just leave him. Who cares if he wants to leave the crew? And Luffy, without missing a beat, he just laughs and is like, you're sad too, huh? Like, he's just like,
you miss Sanji. You know you do.
You miss him too.
You hate him, but
you can't
miss
say
him.
that. It's all right. You don't want to go with us because you're afraid everybody's going to realize shit's sweet. That's all right. I'll go get him. You could just stay right here. You go to Wano. That's all right.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like the sun and the moon, like that. Sanji and Zoro, they have like that trust that is in a way unspoken. Like when Sanji thought he was gonna like lose his mind and die, he was like, "Hey Zoro, I need you to kill me." Like, "Hey brother, you need to do this." Like, yeah, that's honest. Like it shows how deep that bond is, which I guess is another like human like interaction as well, right? We talked about how Akainu and Kizaru are humanized. In a way, I think Sanji and Zoro's relationship is very realistic in a sense, because I bet there's people like that people out there don't like, but you respect them, you know that they're capable of stuff, and that's just what it is. That's all it
and
is.
Also you just can't admit it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
like that they are like. Yeah, I think that, I don't know if the time will ever come, but yeah, like Otis said, like, yeah, they are literally like the closest people in their life. Like Luffy's like both of their best friends, but after Luffy is like, they're the people that they depend on the most. Like, and they're the strongest in the crew. They have to be. So it's like a really real thing for them.
Yo, yeah. So outside of this though, going back to Egghead Island, we come back and we find out that York has been captured. The Straw Hats, Rob Lucci and the boys, they pretty much destroyed Egghead Island. Like, all the problems that we saw before the Reverie, solved. And now we have to deal with the new threat, which is Kizaru and Saturn's appearance. Were you surprised when we saw that everything has been wrapped up? And that there's like a little time skip?
I remember like feeling good about it. I remember feeling good about it, but yeah, I was pretty surprised, and then I quickly talked myself down, like, because here's the thing: we're not surprised at the outcome. We're surprised that we didn't get to see any of it. Like, we don't know what happened. I still I still would have liked to see at least some of it. Like, we don't even know who, like, how the hell did that? Like, how did they figure out it was York? How did they like stop? Like, we've seen them do a lot more. So yeah, like, no shit, we know that would be what happened. But I would have wanted to see. If for no other reason than those idiots are so funny, watching them like find these things out. Like, I would have just wanted to see like how, like, maybe who put the pieces together and who did the fighting. I just wanted to see it.
Yeah. And then I wanted to see like what would happen with like Lucci and Luffy. Like, who did they end up going to fighting with? Kaku. Kaku got like really injured. I mean, Kaku had damn near like a lot of bandages all over his body. Same with Robin. Like, what happened to these guys?
Yeah, I think I think it's a really like cool decision to do narratively, but yeah, it just creates like a what happened. I wonder if the anime is going to go into it, or if they're going to do the same time skip stuff.
I really wouldn't mind if the anime went into it. I think that'd be a nice thing to expand on.
Oh, me neither. I think it would help the anime too, because they're already right behind us, so they need to do something.
Yeah. Oh, what if Oda did that purposefully so that the anime can like ease up a bit?
Hey, genius. I think it'd be a great idea, because I swear, dude, that when I found out we weren't doing any fillers after Wano, I was like, nonsense. That is insane. Yeah. Like, we cannot go straight to Egghead. That's crazy.
Like, maybe we come back to this scene and we get the shock, like, oh, like York has been captured and everything. And then the next episode, they're like, but here's 2 weeks before, or like here's like 24 hours before this point. I think that'd be pretty cool. So we still have the shock factor, and then we get all the filler in between.
Yeah, just a day where they go over, and that could even just be if they want to. I think they could make it a couple episodes, but even if they just want to do one episode, literally, like you said, just a day where they literally just either recap and the whole episode is just them doing one thing that like ties everything together. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. And it'd be even better if like Oda had like a bunch of little notes like, oh, like this, you know, in the canon, this is what actually happened. We just don't see it. So like there's more reason to watch the anime. Like it's not just, oh, anime filler doesn't matter. It's like, oh, it's Oda's filler. So it is like canon and it does matter. I think that'd be a good takeaway from it.
I think that'd be brilliant. I hope they do that. God, I don't know what Toei's going to do, but yeah, I hope. I hope.
Yeah. So the Marines are doing their buster call. We got 9 Vice Admirals, Kizaru and Saturn. When you saw this force, did you think that the Straw Hats were going to get out of this A-okay? Or did you think that the Marines were going to stomp us here? Were you scared of the Vice Admirals and their power?
No.
Why were why are you laughing?
No, but well, I mean, okay. Well, before I answer, did you think that they were that the vice admirals of the Marines were gonna do something to any of us? Is that what you thought?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I started trying to pose him up against the Straw Hats. I was like, oh, who's gonna fight who?
You thought we were getting 1v1s with the vice admirals?
Yes, I did, okay? The Vice Admirals, man, like, they need some time to shine. These guys are great. But, yeah, like, I saw one guy, his name's Urban. He's the guy with, like, the crazy Orange Jr., like, looking face. He had a sword, and I was like, yo, it's over. That's Zoro's opponent right there. That's it. There's Zoro's opponent. It's him. Yeah, I was matching these guys up, dude. I was ready for it, but... reality's often very sad, and the VAs got done pretty dirty here.
I'm not upset about that. I immediately, when they were like, yeah, there's all these people and the whatever, I was like, in my head, I was literally like, okay, so we're fighting Kizaru.
No!
I was like, we're fighting Kizaru.
And it's so sad.
Cool. Like,
Frankie one-shot one of the guys, too.
Yeah, bro, the dude with all the I tell you, like, he punched all of the chins off of that dude. It was a wash. It was so funny.
Yeah, the Vice Admirals got absolutely washed. And then there's Doberman, which we didn't even see what happened to Doberman, right? Like, he was supposed to destroy the people who left, I think. And then next thing you know, like, the Giants just destroyed his ship, and then like we don't see his body anywhere. So like, was he also like in the line of fire? Like, we don't know. We just have to assume Doberman's gone.
Bro. Bonnie might have took care of him, honestly. Yeah, she was mopping up Vice Admirals, bro.
Yeah, she like one-hit Pomsky, Guillotine, like all these boys. And then there's Hound. Hound is another Vice Admiral who we didn't see even fight. Like, what happened to Hound?
I'll tell you this much. Oda literally, I was about to tell you, so Oda told you basically himself, you don't need to worry about what happened to Hound. It doesn't matter.
I like to imagine I'm saying these names and you're like, who the hell are these guys?
I was like, I remember Doberman, but I was like, it doesn't matter.
I could like make up a name and you just be like, yep, that's probably VA. That loser.
1,000%. That's exactly what happened. I think any of that, like Nami and them could, like, especially with Zeus, that's a problem for Vice Admirals. I don't need to, like, I knew we weren't getting 1v1s with the Vice Admirals.
Dude, don't forget Tosa though, right? He had the 10 finger gun. He was about to hit Frankie from behind. And he was like, yo, like, my finger gun can tear through steel and iron. And then Brogy came in and just slapped him with an axe.
Like, wait, they gave him exposition like that? Like, he was literally like, my finger gun.
No, dude, I remember. Dude, everything the VA say, I remember. One of my favorite VA scenes here on Egghead Island is the fact that when Vegapunk was doing his message, Vice Admiral Hound looked up at the sky, threw his fist up, and said, Vegapunk, stop spouting your lies! Like, it was so stupid. It reminded me of like that meme of like an angry old man yelling at the clouds. Dude, that's exactly what it was.
I'm literally looking at it right now. Tosa with his fingers, like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
He called it the Tosa Crunch. That was the name of his attack.
See, and that's when I probably knew, like, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The one VA that I thought was kind of cool is that there's Vice Admiral Urban. He can change his sword. We don't know what ability he has, but he changes his sword from a sword to like a Mahou Shoujo magical girl Sailor Moon wand. And we don't know what that does or anything. It shows up in one panel alone, and that's it. I don't even know if the wiki has it. But
What?
Does it pop up?
No, how do you spell his name? Is it just Urban?
Urban, yeah. URBAN.
Urban? He dead ass is not even.
Oh, I found him. Yeah, he's on the wiki. Yeah, so for weapons, it says Urban carries a bladed weapon and a staff with a piece of fleece at the top, resembling a cannon sponge, which is the wand that I was referring to. But yeah, it looks like a little either a cheerleader baton or like a magical girl wand. And it's like, yo, like what the hell's going on with this guy? We never even saw him fight. He literally hopped on the island and then he hopped off the island, and then that was the last we saw of him. Nobody even fought this guy.
What in the? Here we go. I did see. I guess I just thought that. What the hell? What is this?
Yeah, Urban. Hey, when it comes to the Vice Admirals, I remember everything about these guys, man. I am their one and only advocate. I am alone in the Vice Admiral fan club.
Bro, clearly, I feel bad. That's why, man. I'm so sorry. You must have been. But I will say this, Vice Admiral Doll, good God. I thought, like, first of all, as soon as I saw her, I was like, I started singing that song from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Suddenly, life has new meaning to me.
Doll is great.
Doll was great, but she got, like, well, actually, I was about to say she didn't get one shot. She did get turned into a child by Bonnie, but what took her out was Joyboy's haki. So I don't think that's sorry. I don't think that's that everybody did.
I mean, hey, if that's the metric, I mean, a lot of the VAs got taken out by Joyboy's haki, right? I mean, that's a big W. Like now you can actually spin the argument and say that without Joyboy's haki, Hound would still be chasing the Straw Hats, right?
You can do that.
You can say that. Hey, that would be a thing. Some of these VAs would still be following us to Elbaf. Joyboy really saved us.
Joyboy did. Yeah.
Thank you, Joyboy. The only man that could take down a Vice Admiral.
Well, hang on.
So, Kizaru, when he first showed up here on Egghead Island, how did you feel about him? Like, did you think he was going to be a big threat? Were you excited to see more Kizaru action? Because he first fought Sentomaru, then he fought Luffy, and then obviously we had the double KO where he went down, Luffy went down. Like, how did you feel about that whole segment?
So if I'm gonna try to remember my first thoughts were, oh man, this is gonna be like a high diff match between two fighters, and it was in a lot of ways. It really was. But then as it went on, I realized, okay, there's something going on with his mental for sure. Because I thought originally Sentomaru would have been the only person that he would have had like a Sentomaru. Because we know he's cool with Kizaru. We know Sentomaru is cool with Kizaru. Then we start learning that he has history with Sentomaru, Vegapunk, Kuma, and Bonnie, like that flashback. As soon as I saw the panel of the flashback of them all dancing, I was like, all right, so we've been goofing around this whole time. Like, even if he wasn't holding back, his heart wasn't in it, and I can't count that as an actual like high diff like Yonko versus Admiral fight. Like it's still a hype moment for us to be fighting Kizaru again after he whooped us in Sabaody. And it's not to take anything away from Luffy and how hard that both him and Kizaru were fighting. But as soon as I realized like the inner turmoil that was going on there, there's just so much room to doubt how much he was in versus like a bloodlusted Kizaru, like dedicated to stopping everybody from doing literally anything. Like, you could also argue in Sabaody, how much was he really trying, to be honest? Because he was still kind of just high on the job.
Yeah, he was kind of just chilling.
He was just chilling. So, I don't know. I was really hyped for it, but yeah, as soon as my initial impressions were this was going to be a high diff fight where Luffy was going to prove that he was going to be at least a match for him, and then as it went on, I was like, all right, well, Kizaru might actually have something. He was whooping him for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I felt really bad for Kizaru the entire time. I mean, it was pretty obvious, like, whenever he destroyed the Vega Force 1, he had to, like, look away. And then he had that little scene. I remember he destroyed the Vega Force, and he thought about the scene where Vegapunk looked at Kizaru, and he's like, Kizaru, this machine, it's the ship, it's the robot of hope. And it's like, oh God, oh God. It's over,
then
man.
I was wondering if we were just doing like but he's still going to double down, and this is going to be like his like corruption arc, or not his corruption arc, but just his like solidifying his like road on the Marine side, basically. But then when we got that flashback, I was like, you're cool with Kuma too? Oh, there's no way. There's no way.
And then Bonnie was there too. My God.
And Bonnie was there too? No, dude. No, absolutely not. Like, do you think that he knew what the plan had to be, and that he was... Well, actually, I think since we got the flashback, I guess he wouldn't have. But, like, he killed only Vegapunk, and then after that, he was like, all right, I'm just done. Like, I now kind of have, like, a different perspective. But what do you think? Do you think he knew more than what he was letting on, or did he actually just go out there and know that he needed to do that?
I think it could be both ways. I saw people saying that Vegapunk maybe called Kizaru and said, hey, it's fine. Like, you can kill me. Like, you know, something's going to happen after I die. I like that theory a lot. I don't know if I'm there yet because... I don't know. Like, I guess no matter how you spin it, even if Vegapunk did call Kizaru and said it's okay, like, it still wouldn't be an easy thing to do, just killing your best friend.
Yeah, I do think I would like him, like, giving him, like, a heads up. But, yeah, I think that would still be... That would actually go, like, a long way for, like, how he acted the whole time. Because as it looked, it was just, like, he was doubling down for the cameras, basically. Like, we all saw, like, bro, you are hurt. Like, come on.
Yeah, for Kizaru, do you think he'll eventually defect, or do you think he's gonna, like, start wavering from the world government? Or even then, like, how do you think he's gonna react with, like, Lilith or York moving forward, since they are technically Vegapunk? Do you think he'll have a soft spot for him?
I think that his fate is the same as Garp. I think once you kind of, like... Well, it's not exactly the same. Rather, his fate is kind of, I guess, the same, I would say, as Akainu. Even though, like, I think once you kill, like, a person that's, like, on our side, you're kind of, like, in this pit of, like, even if you, like, redeem yourself, it kind of has to come at the cost of, like, basically your life, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that means that... So I don't think that true redemption is in it. Like, so I don't think he's going to join with the Straw Hats. I don't think he's going to... I think if he might do something that really helps us in the future, I can totally see that. But I think it's, no matter what, I think whatever happens, he might even get redemption, but it will definitely come at the cost. Because I think that's not based on what I think he deserves, but, like, I think that's going to be based on what the characters themselves think they deserve. Like, there's no, like, you killed your best friend, like, it's kind of up for you. Like, you might redeem yourself, but your life is almost like, you know, you're going to probably die at the end of the story.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if Kizaru does redeem himself, it will be at the cost of his life. Maybe he does it to protect somebody, maybe a Vegapunk, maybe... the future of the Marines, but yeah, I think Kizaru's kind of doubled down and sealed his fate in a way. So while this Kizaru fight's going on, we had another fight going on as well. Your favorite fight, I think, is what you called it. But we had Lucci versus Zoro, and they fought for a little bit. We had some good clashing moments, and you really enjoyed this segment of Egghead Island. So, I want you to contextualize it. Like, how did you enjoy it? Like, what did you like the most about this fight? Did you like the finale? Did you like that Jinbei had to save Zoro? Just give me your thoughts.
In all seriousness, because I have my jokes about why Zoro was fighting Lucci for 12 chapters. That isn't right. But my favorite part of this fight is Jinbei showing up, throwing Zoro over his shoulder, and just stealing one off on Lucci, and then they just take off into the wood. That's my favorite part for sure. I did like that. Otherwise, why was he fighting Lucci that hard? What was going on there? I don't know.
Lucci's just that guy, man. What can I say? That's the number one right there.
He wasn't using any of the haki that he should have been. Like, my
head
headcanon.
We had the King of Hell gas coming out of his swords for a minute.
Was that at the end of the fight, or was that
beginning of the fight?
That was the beginning? Okay.
Yeah. It was when they were, like, first clashing.
Maybe Lucci's just like that. If he was trying his hardest the whole time, that's gonna make me look at Lucci and Zoro in a different way. Because I always thought that, like, Luffy and Zoro were like, I mean, Luffy was always, like, above him, but, like, the gap in power wasn't that big. If they were both trying their hardest, then I'm gonna have to look at both of them differently. I'm gonna have to give Lucci way more respect, and I'm gonna have to take some respect for Zoro just a little bit down, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that, like, while everything big is going down in the Fabrio phase, Zoro's up here fighting a Lucci of all people. I will admit, that is a pretty funny thing, considering the fact that Kaku was dealt with so swiftly. Like, literally, Lucci blasted off with Zoro. Next thing you know, Sanji put Kaku in a bubble, and he was done for the rest of the arc. Like, dude, that's so easy. They should have done that to Lucci, honestly. Like, if they thought ahead, should have done that to Lucci from the get-go.
That's why it's so funny. Like, Sanji realized Sanji didn't ask any questions. Sanji was like, all right. And just immediately just like, the last thing we need is both of y'all crashing out. Like, Kaku was injured. He wasn't going to do anything anyway, but Sanji was like, I don't care.
If Zoro can beat Lucci, dude, Sanji would have slapped Kaku. It would have been so bad. So I do like that happened. It saved Kaku from humiliation, which I enjoy. You know, like I said, I like Kaku. I don't mind that the Straw Hats win. Like, the Straw Hats are always going to win, right? Like, no matter who the villain is, the Straw Hats are going to beat those guys at the end of the day. But I hope that the people they beat remains, they have some integrity at the end. So I'm glad Kaku did not fight here. That would have been awful for him. My God.
That would have been undeniable, like, humiliation that he would have taken. Or maybe he could have had, like, a badass moment. Maybe he would definitely lost.
Or maybe Kaku wipes us out.
Ooh, oh.
Yeah, that's an idea. But yeah, like Lucci, for example, right? He lost, but he still came off pretty decent, right? He was kind of clashing with Luffy. He fought Zoro for a little bit. Well, that's respectable. He had a respectful bow out. So last thing now, Gorosei. They all show up here to Egghead Island. We kind of talked about how this panned out later, but as far as transformations go, like, how'd you feel about them? They're all yokai. We also have a sandworm as well. Did you like their transformations? Do you think they're devil fruits? Do you think they're actual, like, transformations? Like, how do you feel about these guys?
I didn't like any of them. I don't like any of them.
No way. Stop. You don't like any of these? Not a single one.
Okay, so I guess the bald dude with a sword that turns into, like, a war horse, I guess that's kind of cool. All of them, I can't separate the characters from them. I think that they're all just so
underwhelming.
So sorry. Underwhelming is actually the perfect word, man, because, like, even if I like the designs, for what? If that giant spider bastard, he couldn't wound Tony Chopper. Okay? Like, really think about that. When he turned into I think it was Garp point, and then Saint Saturn stabbed him, and Chopper was fine. That was after we learned that Saint Saturn's pointers were all coated in poison that was strong enough to melt trees and buildings. So that's what they got. They got poison and regeneration, the most Mickey powers in all of anime and manga. I don't respect it. I can't. I truly can't. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, like, I feel the same way. I like their transformations, but in terms of powers, I was pretty underwhelmed. Like, they just didn't. Like, when you think of the Gorosei, at least for me, like, we've known these guys since, like, chapter 200. I expected something insane. The minute they all showed up, I was like, oh, I think we're done. I think we have to, like, flee right now, which we did flee, to be fair. But it wasn't threatening at all. Like, they showed up, and that was it's kind of it.
Because the reason why I didn't think that is because Saint Saturn should have been enough if they were that imposing. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's the Yonko, there's the Warlords, there's the Vice. Like, we have all these hierarchies, and then there's the Gorosei that, like, nobody even, like, really, like, who knows how many people even knows about them. And Saint Saturn was getting punked. So he called everyone else, besides, like, one Gorosei member, and they all showed up. As soon as they all showed up, I was like, wow, I guess they're all sorry. That was the first thing my brain thought.
No.
I was like, they all must be sorry. Because if all of them are here, even if they just manage to edge, because the only way that makes sense, all of them pull up, we all have to lose. If we all win and we all get off Egghead, they all are sorry. Like, that's it. If we all managed to leave Egghead and it was just Saint Saturn, they could have kept their dignity, bro. That could have happened. But they were all there. And we all left. And the broadcast never stopped. Like, it stopped for a second and then it came back on. Like, they did not do anything they came here to do.
Yeah, the broadcast is a pretty big fumble. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, Warkity knocked the broadcast. It went out for like a minute, and then it came back the next minute, and they're like, oh, I guess we have to really focus on this guy. And then we had scenes of like Saint Saturn walking down a hallway using Conqueror's haki on snails. Saturn was like hitting snails with his club. He saw the mother flaming and he got scared. Like we had a lot of scenes that just didn't look good for some of these guys. Like some of the Gorosei did come out looking better, but overall, like, I mean, even Marcus Mars, brother, like, I loved his transformation, the Itsumade, it looked so cool. But after he got blown away by Luffy, he was literally chilling at Marie's Raw with his legs crossed, sitting on a chair, waiting for the rest of the Gorosei to come home. Like, I was like, damn, he really got done like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't respect it. Then one of them was just a big dune sandworm. And
whoa. That was my favorite.
The big dude sandworm?
Dude, yes. He's got like the pearly white teeth and he's just like sucking things in. That's so funny.
Just sucking in everything.
Yeah,
Listen,
that guy's funny.
It's definitely funny. I think if I could separate the transformations from the people, then I could like. But as it stands, they're just like for what? That's my only. That's my only question. Like, what? Why you? For what? What would you?
No,
you know what I'm saying? I
agree with you.
Imagine this. If it was Kaido instead of all of them, that would have been a problem. He would have been checking everybody. I don't believe we would have all made it off that island if with one Kaido, but 5 of them.
Oh, I saw a tweet, brother. I saw that exact tweet. They're like, hey, like if you think the Gorosei are powerful, then like who do you think could stop the Strats here? The 5 Gorosei or 5 Kaidos? You know, 2 on the Labo phase, 3 on the Fabrio phase. I'm like, damn, dude, you're right. Like I didn't think about it like that, but. If we had 5 Kaidos on this island, I think it'd be over, man.
No, dude.
5 Kaidos?
Just 2 Kaidos are enough. 1 Kaido watching the shore, and then Dragon Kaido just blowing shit up in the sky. That's all you need. 5 Kaidos is insane, but for sure would definitely get the job done. 5 of those old men.
And Kaido's not even awakened, brother.
That's what he was in the whole fight. He was floating that island. Just 2 Kaidos focused on not letting people leave. It's over. They could even be drunk. You're still not leaving. It doesn't matter.
I mean, man. I mean, I did wish for a lot with the Gorosei. Like I said, I'm a guy who likes villains because they're fleeting, man. Villains in any series, they're fleeting. They're supposed to come in, look crazy for a little bit, and then the main character beats them. That's how it always is. But for that brief moment where they're like the menace of the island, I love that. Like I want to see like what they can do, and the Gorosei didn't exactly provide that for me. I know for some people love the Gorosei here. They're like, oh, these guys are crazy. Like, you know, it's only because we're the main character. That's fair, but like that's kind of like where we're at though. And that is also why I am with you with your take on the Holy Knights, where I really hope that when we meet the Holy Knights, they are stronger than the Gorosei. We need, you know, like at the end of the day, if the Gorosei are like our final opponents, right? We got Blackbeard, which we don't know where he's going to fit into all this, but we have the Gorosei and Emu. A lot of the Straw Hats are going to be fighting the Gorosei. Like, do we really want Zoro's last fight besides Mihawk to be against Bakotsu? You know, this guy? You know what I mean? Like Sanji's last fight, is it really just the Itsumade? Like, I don't know. Like, I almost wanted more in a way. Which, you know, there's more endgame villains, but like they're part of the group.
Nah, man. Nah. They've got to be. So yeah, we need some. I don't even know how much. I think our end goal villains will be ones that we've seen already, because I really have stocks in Akainu and Blackbeard, obviously. I think the God's Knights will be a problem, but I think they're a problem that it's time for Dragon to deal with. That's what I'm saying. It's time. I think we should fight some of them, but like, come on, so everybody else needs to care.
Have I told you one of my nightmares? So every now and then, like I think once a month, I have like a nightmare and I wake up in cold sweats, and it's a One Piece theory that I've thought of, and I made a couple of videos on it too, just talking about how scared I am of this outcome. But what scares me is the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, because we know that eventually they're going to partake in the final war, a war that will change the world. My main fear is that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, the captains, are going to be the ones who 1v1 the Holy Knights. Like, how would you feel if we met the Holy Knights, all 9 or 11, and they just fought the Grand Fleet? Ideo, Cavendish, Bartolomeo, Orlumbus, Sai, Baby 5, Hardin, and they're squaring up against the Holy Knights, and they're the ones who win.
I think it depends on how many of them die. That's what I think.
They
and
all
I
win.
think they have to. They all win? Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. I don't like that. No. They need to do some Batman, like they outsmarted them to get it. And even then, I think we should still have some Holy Knights that like real people fight, like Mihawk or somebody.
Yeah.
But like, no, not the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, that scares me, dude, because like they're gonna have to fight somebody. You know they're gonna have to fight somebody. I mean, hopefully the VAs are still around. Maybe they fight the VAs. Maybe that's it.
I would, and even then, I think we should take some, like, not like deaths, but like some losses to just make the Vice Admirals. Because as it is, like, I agree with you. I think the Vice Admirals deserve more, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't done anything. Egghead was just unfortunate. I don't even know if they should have been there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't count Garp as a VA. Like, the guy's a VA by title, but god damn, he's like an admiral.
No, yeah, absolutely. So no, that does not count. Yeah, I think Egghead was unfortunate for them. I think they do need a good showing. So if they do fight the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, I think some of them should win. I really think that, honestly.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, some of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet lost on Dressrosa, and they needed backup. So that could totally be the case. Like Hideo and Blue Gilly, I believe, both lost to that one fish kid on Doflamingo's crew. I forgot his name. The one with the stilettos.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is. I forgot his name
all of a sudden. But he has like a 16 million berry bounty.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember his bounty because it was like below Arlong, and I was kind of like laughing at that. But yeah, Dellinger. There we go. Yeah, Dellinger. Yeah. Last part about the video, and then we'll head out of here. But we got Joyboy and Emmet. How do you feel about all of these giant people coming into play?
Well, I think that I did really like it. The only thing that I would say is, again, Oda, like we said, Oda's silhouette problem. I don't know if I liked seeing the silhouette of Joyboy. Kind of looks like he's like part duck in that one silhouette, like where he's part like duck? His hat like faced. Yeah, you know what silhouette I'm talking about? Where he's like opening his arms in. Yeah, dude. I think that's Duck Boy. I think Joyboy is going to be part bird, like Haru or something. That's going to be so funny. But I did like the blast from the past, the haki. I mean, I liked all of it. I think that Emmet, I can't wait to see more from him because like the little that we got from the giant robot is so like makes me want to learn more about him. And I think that if we ever get like a Void Century flashback, that's going to recontextualize. Dude, what if the giant robot is the new Kuma? Like he showed up, helped us for a second, and then like he's gone, and then like 100 chapters later, we learn how significant that was. And I think that's already set up. So
he has like a sad-ass backstory and everything.
He's gonna have a sad. It's already sad. He sacrificed himself for us. So I mean, and who even knows what's gonna happen? Because Saint Saturn stayed behind and was just staring at him. So who even knows what's going on? But like, my heart goes out to the giant robot he was carrying in the end. But yeah, I did really enjoy that part.
I would like to imagine that when we get to Marie's Raw or like the final fights with Saturn, we see that Emmet is actually still there, and like maybe Saturn took him apart and he's using him for evil. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be so sad. That would be so sad.
We got to use him as a tool for. I was about to say menagerie, but like just use him for evil. You know, maybe have him like whip some slaves or hurt the people he loves most, fight Joyboy, like just really mess him up.
So many ideas. Who are you? What Lord? You can have so many ideas for horrible things that could happen in this story. That is a good idea. But my God, that's
so many ideas for horrible things. That's a way to put it.
So creative, bro.
I mean, like for me, like I said, I'm a big villain fan. Like the type of manga and anime I like is typically I wouldn't say like darker, but like I like bad outcomes. Really, I'm a fan of bad outcomes, I guess is a good way to put it.
I don't know what you're doing in One Piece then. Oda famously he hates those. He famously hates those.
Yeah, Oda wants like the best for everybody. But hey, he's not afraid of killing some people, so maybe we do that with Emmet.
I think it's set to happen, but I feel like he's still like, if Oda could take Ace back, I know he would, but he's bad storyteller. He's not going to do that. But the only thing he might do is make like an Ace Seraphim, and that would be terrible. That would be like not terrible in a writing standpoint, but that would be like imagine Luffy seeing like the Seraphim Ace. That'd be crazy.
Oh, and then it's like a Dr. Hogback's Sindri, where like Ace is kind of there, like his will is there, but he's not. He's like, Luffy, kill me. That'd be good. That'd be good.
Would be good. That would be good. That'd be like the final step in letting Ace go. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, and then that's when Sabo steps in because Luffy can't do it or something. And then Sabo finally gets to see Ace for that that very last time.
Dang, dude. Yeah, now I want this to happen.
Yeah,
I think we cracked. I really actually do want that to happen.
The code. So as far as the Giants go, like, did you like seeing them on Egghead? Did you imagine that they would come when you saw that ship off the coast? Like, did you think it was the Giants of Elbaf?
No, I was so happy to see them, and it made sense. But what the first thing I realized was like, so Shanks sent Luffy help before Dragon did. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's actually insane.
I thought it was gonna be Sabo. Man, the newspapers went out. It said, "Yo, Luffy's under siege." I was like, "Oh, Sabo!" Like he said, the minute Luffy's in trouble, he's gonna go. You tell me Sabo didn't go? Dragon didn't go. Like maybe they're too far, but like they didn't even like set sail. Like they're chilling at home. And this is before the broadcast. Like if the broadcast happened, I'd be like, okay, yeah, they want to stick around and find out what the hell's going on. But nah, brother, they were just chilling. I was kind of surprised.
I can understand. Because I even thought the Grand Fleet would show up. I remember that was a big like thing, which I'm glad they didn't because, well, obviously we didn't need them. But like the Giants, I was real surprised. It was awesome seeing Dory, Bragi, Oimo, and Kashi there, dude. Like people from way back showing up to return the favor. So much stronger than I thought that they would ever be. Honestly, like it was such a good moment. Loved that.
Yeah. I love that they're here. I like seeing that they're stronger. I still don't like Giants and their race. I'm like a big Giant hater. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like big like people. Like even like Attack on Titan, I'm not a big fan of them. Like anything that veers too far from humans, I'm just not a big fan of.
I mean, Attack on Titan's obviously different for a lot of reasons, but I could definitely understand that more than these
like
Giants. But
like long limb, long arm. Like, do you like the races of One Piece? Like, if you were in the world of One Piece, do you think you'd be able to commingle with these creatures, or do you think you'd be like a celestial dragon human purist?
What would it sounds like you already have your answer made up? Why do you have a list of races?
No. I'm just asking you.
Listen to what you just said. You were like, so if you were in the One Piece world, okay, would you be able to commingle with the other races? Like what?
Yeah, hey,
what do you mean?
I'm interviewing you, brother. Like that's why I'm posing the question. Like, you know, I'm just the interviewer. Like, you know, my opinion doesn't matter. I'm in the middle somewhere.
I truly do not. Yeah, I can't think of a race that I would be like, yeah, I'm tired of these people. None of them
really?
come to mind.
None of them.
No.
Not like not the snake neck, not like the mushroom people, not like the fat people that Chopper was with, not them either.
No, I cannot find myself being racist to any of them. So if that's what you want me to, do you want me
not like, okay, how about this? Okay, what about the Buccaneers? Do you like them?
Don't we only know Kuma, or
we know Kuma and we know Clap, his dad.
His name was Clap. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Clap. Believe it's Clap with a K. I think all the Buccaneers, you know, like the races of One Piece, they have like their little naming schemes going on. I think all the Buccaneers might just start with a K.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
we only have one family to go off of, but
do they have anything annoying about them? Like, they
got like this weird big burly body, right? Like this wide ass torso and no neck.
I knew it.
What?
I knew it. Where is this coming from? You sounded like you sound like you've mingled with them for far too long, and you're like, I don't know, just something about their torso, like just like I haven't spent enough time with them to even be annoyed with that.
I don't know what it is, brother. Like the only races I like in One Piece, See, funny enough,
the only races I like in One Piece is crazy.
The only races I like humans. I like fishmen. I don't like mermaids. I don't like the mermaids or the mermaid brothers. I think they're weird. I like King's Race and I like Skypians. Not Shandorans. I don't like Shandorians, but I like the Skypians. Those are the only 4 races I like in One Piece. I think. I might be able to slip in a 5th here or there, but I think that's it.
You're who Wiper is talking about when he's like, get off my land. It's you.
I hate Wiper, dude. I hated the Shandorians.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was not rooting for the Shandorians. I looked at the Shandorians and I was like, no. Like, the Skypians will take over.
Oh my gosh. You needed their resources. Is that what it is? You're like, man, they think they could just keep all their resources to themselves?
Yeah, the whole backstory with Shandorians is crazy though. Like, imagine just living on Earth for 1 minute and then you get shot up to the clouds the next, and then you get attacked by winged sky people. That was insane. Yeah, I feel bad for him. I feel for him, but
and he was pissed. He was like, yeah, and get off my land too. Like
when it comes down to the races I like in One Piece, it all boils down to design. That's all it is. It's a design preference.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So
if you had to, like, you know, going back to how I opened this up, like, if I held your family hostage and, like, one by one they were gonna kick the dirt if you didn't give me one race that you dislike in One Piece, what would be the race you give up?
I mean, I guess God, what is this question? Where is this coming from? I feel like you're gonna be
I can't be here alone. That's what it is. Like, I gave you my favorite races. I told you my least favorite. Like, you got to hit me with your least favorite. Everybody has a least favorite.
That's not true. What do you mean?
But these are fiction. This isn't like real life. It's fictional people, right? Like, you got like weirdos here, man. You got like a bunch of weirdos in this game. Like, you can't tell me you looked at like a long-armed character like a Pooh and you're like, wow, this guy's great. Like, I love these people. No, dude, nobody thinks that. Nobody likes the long-armed people.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess I just hated them for being who they were, not for their arms and the other like things. I never thought like, you know what, there goes that way.
Here. Maybe we can relate on this level. When Pudding told me her backstory about how she was bullied for having 3 eyes, I could see myself as one of the bullies.
Why?
She got 3 eyes, brother. Is that not weird?
Oh my god. I mean,
like, some of these tribes, man, like, maybe there is a part of me that's like, maybe the Celestial Dragons aren't entirely wrong.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. That's part of the Celestial Dragons. I was like, there's no way you're maybe they're not wrong.
I said not entirely wrong. Like, I still think they're bad people.
You'd be like a selective Celestial Dragons. Like, mostly everybody's fine, but those guys, I mean, what are they really doing?
I'd bring back the Lunarians because I think their wings are super cool and the fire is cool. I like fishmen. I like fishmen as well because I think it's really unique, and I love fish. Like, I've talked about it before. If I could like go on a crazy diet for no reason, I could be a pescatarian, brother. But mermaids, no. I think we get rid of the tailed bastards. Long arms, get rid of them. Long legs, get rid of them. Snake neck, get rid of them. A lot of the random tribes in One Piece, I'm not a big fan of either. Like, I think there's just there's too many tribes. Like, maybe we just narrow it down a little bit. I
just feel like this is something only a Celestial Dragon would say.
And then Great Terminal, how did you feel like when they set Great Terminal on fire? Did you feel bad for those guys?
I mean, wasn't that like already, like they were already just like the scum living in that area?
Yeah,
were they
like
just
a bunch
regular people?
I mean, it's like half and
I
half.
guess I shouldn't be asking you. I don't know why I'm asking you that question. You would say either way. You were like, yeah, they got what they deserved. Oh man, I don't know. I guess the long arms and legs, I guess I don't see like a point for that, but they're just trying to get it how they live it. I don't know. I haven't seen a cool character be that, but I don't know. I definitely wouldn't just say, yeah, get rid of them. Like, round them up and get rid of them.
And here's the thing too. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I like the fact that they're in the story. I just think that if there was like another Buster Call or rabbit hunting tournament, if it took place on their island, I think I would unfortunately root for the opposing team.
why did you started that out like? Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not advocating for like them to just go away. What I'm saying is, if we had a Hunger Games tournament, I think I would root for the Hunger Gamesers. That's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
they.
and here's the thing too. Like when we saw Joyboy's silhouette, I was screaming from the top of my lungs. I was happy that he was human, or at least something that looked human.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if
No, stop.
if he's like
Nope.
a duck person or something. I swear he's gonna be something weird. I'm gonna laugh. Oh, I'm gonna hit you up immediately. Like, what you think about Joyboy having those long ass arms and legs, bro? What you think about that?
It was some dark days, man. The minute that Kuma and Clap were talking about Sun God Nika and like the whole Buccaneer legend and all this other stuff, I was really afraid because the Joyboy Buccaneer theories were going nuts at the moment. That was like the you know, the guiding light for the community. They're like, yo, Joyboy's a giant, he's a Buccaneer, the giant straw hat. And you know, the thing is, I'm not like, you know, I don't blind myself from reality. So it's like, oh yeah, maybe he is. Like maybe there's a chance. But the minute we saw Joyboy and we saw the silhouettes and we saw like more of him, I'm like, yo, he's human. He's a regular sized man. That's it. Like maybe he has something funky going on, but he looks human.
Crazy. Maybe he's just human adjacent. I'm gonna laugh so hard if he turns out to be something other than human. I can't. I now I'm gonna write Oda like, please make him something weird. And Oda's gonna be like,
if it looks cool, I don't mind it. That's the thing. Like you got to really mess up that design.
All right. I don't know. You know, it's Oda, so he probably already is weird looking. That's all. That's all I need to say.
Okay, so if you had to eliminate a race, you pick long arm, long leg. That's a good option. That's a good option, brother.
I don't see even that. I don't like that you're just like, all right, good option. I feel like I'm at like the wrong table at lunch.
I'm like patting you on the back.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, I don't want to be here.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's go.
Oh no. Oh god.
All right, so now that we're on our way to Elbaf, do you have any final thoughts to end off this video? Like, how do you feel about Elbaf? What are you looking forward to? Do you have any crazy, like, one-off theories? Let it loose, brother.
Crazy one-off, not really. I just hope we learn more about Prince Loki. I hope he's a prominent member of this arc. I mean, I am obviously in the camp that I hope Usopp has some major character and or power developments. And I hope that whatever the interaction with Shanks and Luffy, I hope that they do that in the best way possible. Or if not, maybe they postpone it. I don't really know what to expect there, so I guess I don't have anything that I want to see there. But yeah, mainly just those two then.
All right. That's a good way to end it off, man. Hopefully Usopp gets his shine, his polish, his upgrades, hammer, slingshot, pop greens, anything. Just give him one thing. He doesn't have to be like, you know, top 4 or 5 of the Straw Hats, but, you know, just one little thing.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Is. But thank you again, Serial Long Leg, Long Arm Hater, Monkey D, Mugiwara D Goofy.
All right. All right,
you guys know where to check them out. Thank you guys for watching up until this point, and we will catch you guys later. Have a good one. All right, perfect.